What's up, everybody? A2HH live on a Wednesday. How are you doing today, Coop?
Still setting up.
I hear that, man. It's a lot going on. While you're doing that, I want to welcome everybody into the room. Uh, Fuego Base wants to do it now. You down to go ahead and do this interview now? We can go ahead and do this while people are getting in the room.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
According to
get
Hip
it.
Hop Live, would like to introduce
Yeah, go ahead and
BSF's own
introduce.
Black Soprano Families, Fuego Bass. His new project, Biggest Since Can Be, is currently number 6 on iTunes on the rap charts right now. So it's doing well. He's making moves. I told you he's a little pressed for time. Let's go ahead and bring him in.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna hang up with you, and then I'm gonna get both of you guys on the chat. How about that?
Yeah, whatever works. I'll be here.
All right, cool. And so answer real quick. Oops, I just took Coop out. Let's see. We are going to do this one. Boom. Start call. Ring the group. Think we got them both coming on right now. Everybody there? You there, Coop?
Yeah, I'm here. Fuego, what up?
Y'all cameras on?
Yeah, what up?
What up?
That's how I seen you last time when we was at Chicago. Tell everybody about your project, Fuego. You number 6 on iTunes right now with Biggest Since Can Be. Tell our people that according to hip hop where you're from, what Biggest Since Can Be means, and how it feels right now to kind of like literally watch your dreams take shape, like this week.
Shit, we actually peaked at number 4. You heard? I'm from a small motherfucking town called Hartford, Connecticut. Nothing never really happened, except for Canby. And now you niggas got me.
There it is.
Tell everybody how you ended up being part of the Black Soprano family and what your relationship with Benny is like and how far that goes back.
Benny, my brother, I've been fucking Benny like 5 years now. Like, we had a mutual friend home, seen some work I did that the brother posted, reached out, started kicking it. Here we are.
Now, you said there really wasn't nothing coming out of Hartford, but what's the rap scene like in Hartford? And did you have to kind of like head to New York or head to Philly as far as like getting your projects out?
No, like, for whatever reason, like people over here like to buy all them other nigga shit and never support nothing from here. My circumstance a little different. I feel like I'm more rooted in the community for real and stuff like that. So they don't really mind me being the spokesperson for, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a tough place, whether people know it or not. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's a prideful place. Like, niggas love being from Hartford. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And you'll feel some type of way if you felt like it was false representation. So for the most part, like, people feel like I'm good representation of the town.
Tell me about the 2 joints that you dropped when we actually met live, and I appreciate you giving us the re-up and pulling back up. You had just dropped Heavy D. That might be my favorite joint on Biggest Since Can Be.
Yeah, I got a lot of people fucking with it. Yo, I swear to God to you, like, when I just got out the car to come in here, dude rolled by and was like, "Bass, I love Heavy D."
It's hard. I was telling you that, it's funny, like, you really don't hear, a quote unquote, somebody with street rhetoric doing like a Jizza inspired type of flip, like with the labels and publicity, with the wordplay and usage. And so I kind of like how you like use your wordplay, your lyricism, but it's kind of like storytelling as well. Tell me like some of the people who like impacted your style, because you say like the Hartford cats got an issue with not supporting Hartford cat. Well, who are some of the cats that you like saw them support? It was like really making headway in the city when you was coming up.
Y'all still waiting?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna keep waiting. I'm the biggest shit out here.
I dig that. I dig
Where
that.
you at right now? Y'all on the road? I know you said. You know what I'm saying? What's
In
the
the
tour
hood.
looking like?
Where are you right now?
I'm in Hartford. I'm in Homicide, Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, you home?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You on the joint holding on with Heem, who's also part of BSF. You talked about your mother having stage 4 cancer, and some of your projects also reference your mother as well. Tell me about that and your relationship, with your mother and your motivation, and also just you sharing something so personal like that on record for all of us. Because this is a lot of people's first time getting acquainted with you. So something like that cuts to the core.
No, yeah, had to man up a little bit. Had to take care of my old lady like she took care of me for all these years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's
And
real.
she just put it that like that. It was easy. I thought it would be hard. It was actually easy for me to kick into that mode. So, you know what I mean? I had to focus more on rap and focus more on my mother. I know without my mother, like that's my road dog. Like that's who I could go to if I'm in any mess or whatever. So I had to prepare myself not to have that anymore. And which for me just meant, man, turn it up. Give yourself more security and a better cushion. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit just made me really more into a man.
Right. One of my favorite joints on there also is the Tommy Brown joint with Ricky Hyde and Chic. How'd you end up linking up with Chic, and how long have you known Chic from the Locks?
I don't know shit, bro. I don't know how that happened, bro. I ain't even about to sit here like I know that man and no shit like that. But like he's somebody that I look up to in this, and however it happened, I'm thankful that it happened. I'm grateful for it. Shout out to Sheik because he didn't have to do that.
No, that's a really good look, and
That's
I
real.
like the honesty that you're saying. It's just like, well, that's actually even a bigger nod that like he doesn't know you, and like he's giving you that look. That means he's probably heard something and likes what he hears. Guys of his stature tend not to give out verses to cats they don't know. You know?
No, yeah, I'm shit. If it was trash, he wouldn't have did it. I'll pick that.
No. Tommy Brown is hard. When I say Heavy D is one of my favorite joints, so I'm gonna tell you what, I'm deciding between Heavy D, Tommy Brown, and White Lives Matter. White Lives Matter is kind of like tongue in cheek, like 10 Crack Commandments was. You know what I'm saying? Those are my 3 favorite joints. Talk about White Lives Matter a little bit.
Shit, I had a song called Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. So I doubled back for my white folks.
Yo, yo, Fuego. Everybody wants to know in the chat, man. What you got on that plate right now?
Nothing.
Nothing no more. What was on there? What was?
Oh, that was big chicken and yellow rice.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm saying that. I don't know how to say it. Don't laugh, but it's Akeem Keto. I think the name of this restaurant. It's on Albany Avenue in Harvard. They got some good shit over here.
Word.
People got any more questions in the chat for Fuego?
Let's go. Ask you. Ask whatever you want.
See what the people got. Y'all got some questions for Fuego in the chat over here?
Yeah, people are asking who Fuego is. Fuego Bass is part of Benny's Black Soprano family. His album Biggest Since Canby just dropped. Fuego, where are you headed next?
Shit, I'm about to go on the promo tour. I think 10 cities to get ready for my tour, which is 16 cities. I can't really disclose the dates yet, but I'm going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I heard word from my man LT that you've agreed to pull up on our Juneteenth extravaganza event, June 17th.
Shit, y'all know before me.
Look, I got the flyer right here.
Look, we already got a flyer ready, fam. We got a flyer done already. So now you gotta come.
Yeah, shit. Then somebody agreed to it. It wasn't me though.
People want to know who your influences are. People in the chat want to know who your top influences are before we get up out of here.
Top what?
Top influences.
Tupac. Wu-Tang, the Locks, maybe.
Those some great choices.
Zelda. Yeah,
All right.
that's something up for the most part.
Pac, Wu, the Locks, and Griselda.
Yeah, Tupac rules the world.
Yeah. I was just watching that Dear Mama series, man. I got started on that. I know people kept telling me to watch it and check it out. I just started watching it. It's pretty good, man. Pac had an incredible story, man, and he was able to execute on that story, too. All right, well, I mean, I know you got to hit the road and got to get going, man. I know we said we wanted to chime in with you real quick, but something else you want to leave the people with, or you, Coop, or Fuego?
No, I appreciate Fuego pulling back up.
Yeah,
you know
for real,
what I'm
we appreciate it.
And out now. Anybody in here asking who I am, don't know who I am, go listen to it. And you'll know who I am forever. I'll be your favorite rapper forever after that.
What's the first song they should listen to?
It don't matter. All my shit fire.
Okay.
Hey, Fuego, I'm not even gonna lie. I was impressed with your record. I was actually saying me and Mike D need to rate it, actually, and put it up in the mix because you definitely had some bar work, like for real. And the songs are well put together. Production. I'm about to holler at Red McFly next.
Yeah. Get bro on there. Bro doing his thing. We just shot the video of Uncle Murder like 2 nights ago.
Nice.
Oh yeah. That's when I was trying to get at you. They said you was busy. They said that you was doing the joint, but he did the warehouse joint with you and Benny too, right?
Yeah, yup. He did the warehouse and he did Take a Look.
Yeah,
Nice.
He's fire. We definitely gonna be hollering at him soon. We ain't gonna take up too much more of your time. We know you got to get going. We appreciate you pulling up on us, fam.
We appreciate that, sir.
Man. Anytime, man. Keep in touch.
All day.
We will. Hit us.
And we gonna see you in Atlanta.
I'll say, yeah.
I'll be back to Atlanta soon, bro.
Yeah, just hit us up. You already know.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
say that.
All right.
Yep.
Appreciate you, brothers.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for pulling up, Fuego.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me get our screen back. We can get to this show. That was a nice interview. I like that. Shout out to the people in the chat. We appreciate y'all. Fuego was on the move, eating and doing the interview. That was cool, man. I fuck with Fuego heavy. Let me get Coop back on here real quick. Let's see. All right, Coop, you back. My bad. I did that because I was hanging up on that other line so we can make sure that we got a clear connection. That was a cool interview, man. Fuego's funny, man. I fuck with him.
No, I told you it was one of those things when I met him. It was one of those times. It's like you meet people and you like their music, but it's like you end up talking to the person. You're like, man, this cat's cool.
I like him,
funny like
right?
That in real life too. No, he was funny like that. That's why I was like, no, I would kick it with him. Like he's one of those dudes you just sit back and will play the dozens with all day. You know what I'm saying?
Man. He was like, yeah, I don't even know Sheik like that. I love it.
No, he's funky with it. I like it. The game needs stuff like that too.
I agree. Then when he responded in that way, it reminded me of when Old Dirty was on TRL that time with them, with Maya and Prizewell for the Ghetto Superstar thing, and somebody in the audience asked Old Dirty, like, what do you do to contribute to the black community? He's like, me? Nothing.
Did I tell you who I
am? He was looking like, me? No, I'm not even going to make up anything for you. Okay, let me ask you this, man. We can jump right into the show because we got a lot to talk about today. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you put the thumbs up in the chat so we can get more people in here and hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Do you think Phoenix is still going to make it out of the series? Go.
Oh. Is that where we're starting? Okay, let's start with a little playoff talk.
I wanted to get that out the way,
No, I'm cool with the playoff talk to start. They're in big trouble.
Does it look like? Do you still think they're going to win in 7?
It's going to have to be in 7 if it's going to happen. But here's where things are going to have to change. Like that's why I told you this Chris Paul injury could potentially be a blessing in disguise, and only in this regard. Monty Williams is going to have to switch up his lineup and switch up his bench. And I'm not just talking about inserting Cameron Payne, because Cameron Payne is even smaller than CP3. It's going to have to go bigger somewhere. He's going to have to trust some more people. he's going to still have to give Durant and Booker some sort of rest. Other people are going to have to play. He's going to have to open that bench up. And the thing about it that's crazy, Mike, it's not like he doesn't have people that can't play on the bench. Like Ty Warren has been a 20-point per game scorer in this league. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Or like borderline. You know what I mean? It's not like he doesn't have guys on the bench that can fill up the bucket that don't have like some size to them. And so I don't know what this. I think some of it is like getting Durant integrated, and so having that core play together the most. But CP3 is gone, so now it's just like win any way you can. They need to slow the game down and make it a half-court game, and Durant needs to be the focal point of that. And quite frankly, he needs to play the way he played against Milwaukee 2 years ago, except for this time he has Booker. That's the only way it's going 7. Like, the only way it's going 7 if he plays that way and still has Booker. Because other than that, they're in trouble. Murray went 3 for 15 and 0 for 9 for 3. They are in trouble.
Yeah, man. I mean, they didn't even break 80 points.
But like I told you, did you see what's happening on the other side? See, whoever's getting that team on the other side is about to get a tired team because they about to go to war.
Jay Short with the super chat, says, you see what AD did last night? Now we can stop hearing youngsters acting like Draymond could guard Shaq. Also, either Father Time is catching up with LeBron or he's pacing himself to guard against injury. I think it's a little bit of both.
I was actually feeling that way about KD, Mike, the way KD's playing. I'm like, well, why isn't he going super hard like this? Is he like, has he been hurt so much the last 3 years that now he's afraid of getting injured? Is he shell-shocked, Mike?
He's looking slightly, I don't want to say washed, but he doesn't look like he's playing to the height of his ability. Now, Chris Paul looks
can't
wild.
Call somebody averaging 28, 29 points in the playoffs.
I agree. I'm not going to call him
like
washed.
95% from the line and like 58% from the floor. And
I mean, his numbers are always
washed.
No, his numbers are always going to be there, but it's kind of an eye test when your team doesn't break 70 points. I mean, doesn't break 80 points, and you're KD in the playoffs in a game that you really need. You need a little bit more than what he's giving, and it feels like this is all he can give.
See, this is what I mean. They don't need it because technically all Denver did was what Denver was supposed to do, which is hold home court. It's the way that they held home court.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's the way the offense literally stopped working when CP3 got hurt. Like, it literally stopped and didn't start back up. It's the way they got blown out in game 1. That's why you're worried about game 3 and 4. Game 3, Mike, if he doesn't play like the way Steph played in game 7, like if Kevin Durant needs to have like a 30 to 35 shot game. Because him having a 30 to 35 shot game, if he hits at the clip that he even hit this year, which is about 57%, oh, well, that's about 50 to 60 points. So
well, how many shots is he averaging in this season? I mean, not season, in this series.
I'm about to say probably the typical like 19 to 21 that he averages during the season. He don't have to change much. You know what I'm saying? He usually just plays like a little better.
It's not good enough. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me go to his shot. I guess output. Actually, they had 87 points. My bad. Durant was 10 for 27. Booker was 14 for 29. See, again, and let me go back to the other game, too. I want to go back to the first game.
See, usually when he takes 27 shots, though, Mike, that's usually a 40 or a 50-point game because he usually hits about 50 to 55% of those shots.
He's got to get more. He's got to shoot more shots than that. See, in the first game, he was 12 for 19, where Booker was 10 for 19. This is a consistent thing with KD where it feels like the other guy is going to take more shots than him. And that can't be the reality.
Mike, I totally agree with you. He's been through this before. When is he going to learn? Like, think about
this.
This.
This is on him. This ain't on the other guy anymore.
With the mentality that he had against Milwaukee, he almost single-handedly beat them. They ended up being the champs. It's like if he doesn't understand, like at this point that it's like, no, you play that way and everybody else will make it work. You know what I'm saying? It's
Why
like
is
you
he
play
not?
that way, we'll work around that.
Why is he not, though? Can he actually do it? Does he have the engine to be able to put up a 30 shots in a game?
I'm about to say 30 points is easy.
Yeah, 30 points is easy. I'm talking about him putting up 30 to possibly 35 shots a game if he needs to.
Mike, I don't know what's going on. Those last 2 games against Milwaukee, he took like 38 and 33 shots, I think, 36 and 33 shots respectively. It's like he's literally done this in this round of the playoffs before. You know what I'm saying?
What do people say? CJ Kidd with the super chat
I'm
says.
very worried. It's very problematic, Mike.
CJ Kidd with the super chat says, "You guys see BET's tournament for best rap crew? I haven't checked
No.
on BET in a second, but I'm gonna check that out, man. You know,
BET still with us?
is that on the website or on the actual? You know what? Because when you turn on BET on television, you see nothing but sitcoms, Martin
I say,
episodes,
that's
the
why I see no
Wayne and
Martin about
Brothers.
living single.
Yeah, this must have had to be on the website because last time I checked on BET, Living Single was on. You're right. Jay Short with the super chat says, Monty Williams lost a 2-0 finals lead, got blown out in game 7 at home. Ayton regressing and about to waste KD/Booker against a soft number 1 seed. Fired. Is that
Mike,
on the
I
coach?
said that last episode that I didn't like the coaching. That's why I'm trying to say that nicely when I'm talking about he's going to have to play more people. Like, how about this? You know, the only reason that the Clippers even with Kawhi were in that series was because of Ty Lue's coaching, right? The only reason they was in those games is because Ty Lue literally said, no, this is the NBA, this is the playoffs. You have to do anything that you can do to win a game. So he was literally trying anything, and whatever worked, he ran with. And that got them a game, and that made all the games competitive. Mm-hmm. If they would have had their horses, Phoenix wouldn't even be here right now. You know what I'm saying? Because Ty Lue is that kind of coach. And so Monty Williams, like, yes, he's getting kind of like exposed as a coach. Think about this. Mike Budenholzer outcoached them in the finals.
Is that a diss? Mike Budenholzer's a great coach.
He's a good coach, Mike.
He's a great. Anybody who takes the Atlanta Hawks team 63 wins and they didn't win they didn't lose for like 2 months straight, and they had guys where our number 1 guy was Al Horford, respectfully. And
sorry,
to have a team do all of that.
I'm not about to let you get away.
No. To do all of that with that Hawks squad, and then you go to Milwaukee and you win a championship. Yeah, Budenholzer's a good coach. Because let's ask ourselves,
I say not great. He's a great coach.
I think he's a great coach. Where was Giannis before Budenholzer got there?
Giannis, be honest with that. Look
here. No. Where
was
he? He was getting bounced out of the playoffs.
Listen, this is all you really need to know. No, this is all you really need to know. If James Harden doesn't pull his hamstring and Kyrie Irving doesn't go Kyrie Irving, which is either like leave the team or get hurt in the playoffs, then he doesn't even have a ring, Mike.
We can't do the ifs.
I'm not. Let me finish, please. Because if you look, because you're talking about that ring. First of all, that ring is shaky because of that, because of those injuries, and because of Monty Williams coaching and the whole one-on-one with Ayton thing. Everybody knows that. So he didn't do some sort of coaching savant job for the ring that he has. No. As a playoff coach, he was getting waxed on a normal basis outside of that one ring. Look at what's happened the last 2 years.
Where was Milwaukee before he got there?
Hold on. How many times has a 1 seed be the 8 seed? Because I believe it just happened, Mike. You know this is one of the biggest upsets in NBA history, and you're talking about the greatness of the coach. They just got beat by an 8 seed.
And you know what we also need to talk about?
8 seed without their third best player.
Well, let me say this. Giannis missed 13 free throws in a closeout game. He makes one of those, then we're not talking about a sweep. So at what point does he take any of this heat and it all goes to the coach? He choked. And he's not the guy.
Giannis ain't the best player in the world because Giannis can't shoot. And this is why I would take KD.
He can shoot free throws.
There goes some evidence. You want some evidence? There you go. He can't shoot.
He can't.
We all knew he couldn't shoot.
No. Not being able to quote-unquote shoot and missing 13 free throws are two totally different things. He doesn't normally miss 13 free throws. He choked.
Normally don't take like 28 free throws either, Mike.
Well,
that's why he don't miss 13. They were putting him on the line because he can't shoot.
Come on, man. Okay. He don't miss 13 free throws. He's been put on the line before. He's been put on the line before.
How about this?
That's not on the coach is what I'm saying.
Hold on. What about the year before then?
What about the year before?
What happened last year?
What happened last year? I don't remember.
Right, they lost like they usually do with Mike Budenholzer as your coach. Like, stop that, Mike.
I'm trying to remember specifically what happened. Did Giannis get hurt or come up lame or something? I'm pretty sure. Because, he be going in and out. CJ Kidd with a super chat
they
says...
They all be in and out, Mike. Even LeBron's in and out now.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's Superman, like...
CJ Kidd with the super chat says, when it comes to unofficial duos, who would Big have made a better unofficial duo with, Tupac or Jay-Z? Since he was the closest with those two, I would say Jay.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mike, I just know. Hey, Mike, I know this. New Yorkers are never gonna like be quiet if the Knicks go to the finals. We just need to. We need to just get our like no Knicks to the finals T-shirts together.
Listen, man.
We go to New York with some according to hip hop gear and some no Knicks to the finals gear. They need some reality.
Listen, man.
New Yorker you talk to, every New Yorker you talk to is already talking about going to the NBA finals.
It's not gonna happen. I love New York.
Literally the most absurd shit I've ever seen.
I grew up liking the Knicks in a sense because they used to be a great matchup for the Bulls, and I used to love when Michael Jordan would compete against the Knicks. But as time has gone on, just because of Knicks ownership and how James Dolan has treated people like Charles Oakley, Spike Lee, and stuff I really could care less for the Knicks. But in reality, looking at what Miami Heat did last night, and looking at the fact that they didn't even have their best player, and actually I think one of the best players in the playoffs right now, and still almost won, they're not going to beat Miami. Jimmy's not going to allow that. When Jimmy turns it on, what's New York really going to do? When you look at somebody like Jimmy Butler, he's the guy that's just going to stop you from winning. And if you're on an evenly matched team, which is what this is, he's the guy between the two of those teams is going to make sure that other team doesn't win.
Say this as a Duke fan. The Knicks are one R.J. Barrett game away.
He's not
right back where they were. You all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? That 9 for 23 shooting game that's right around the corner. We've all seen it.
Yeah, just wait on it, Knicks fans. Y'all gonna get sent home, and I'm not saying that as a hater.
Just wait, hate.
Andre Shashir with the super chat says, "I'm from Milwaukee and a huge fan. Bud is trash. Everyone wants him fired, and Giannis would have been who he is with Giannis would have been who he is without him. Bud makes no adjustments. Trash. Wow.
Those are gang signs, Mike.
So, okay, if he's so trash, though, how does he lead two different organizations to the number one seed in the East? Like, that's not easy stuff to do. Giannis has been in the league for a long time. No, we're not going to act like Giannis just popped up yesterday. He's been in the league for a long time. And I remember when Jason Kidd was coaching him, he wasn't successful. And Jason Kidd is actually a decent coach, one of the greatest point guards I ever seen.
Oh, yeah? Oh, Jason Kidd's a great coach, too?
I think he's a decent coach, yeah. He's had tough breaks, man.
Yes.
He has.
Having Luka is so hard, Mike.
That's a new situation for him. But, he
just missed the playoffs, Mike. When they got Kyrie and Phoenix got KD, those teams had the same record. One team is still playing. The other team is at home.
Okay. Are you going to blame
Kidd? Kyrie's ass for a minute, but I'm very clear about this. That ain't all Kyrie's fault.
So, I was going to say, are you going to blame Kidd or Kyrie for this? Because before you were blaming Kyrie.
Hey, look here.
He seemed to be coaching them well until Kyrie came. Right?
Very problematic.
What's he supposed to do? Not play Kyrie?
Part of a coach's job is integration of players. So if you were coaching well without him, you need to integrate and coach well with him.
That's easier said than done. And who's to say he's not going to be able to do that next year? That might take some time to do. Like you said with KD, he's adjusting, right? See how that works?
That's what we're doing.
007 with the super chat.
See how the adjustments go, though?
We'll see.
Depending on the difficulty of the challenge?
Well, I think that Kyrie is a challenging player for coaches. And
KD's a top 10-ish player, and Kyrie's like a top 70-ish player. That's what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't coaching the same type of talent.
Okay. All right. I have to ask this, and we'll move on. I know people want us to talk about music. But are you saying what you say about KD based on the potential of talent on paper or what we've actually seen? Because At this point, from what I'm seeing, obviously the abilities and some of the things that he's able to do are all time great and different. But as an all time player, mentality and all of those things combined, you still think KD is a top 10 player all time?
10-ish, depending on how you feel, but there's not a lot of people walking around with, like, how about this? Everybody that's walking around with like numbers and hardware like him are the people that we consider to be top 10-ish players, if you really just want to be frank about it. Like, including, because I think people are forgetting this, Mike. People do understand that he spent 10 seasons in Oklahoma City, right? You do understand he led a team to the NBA Finals at age 24.
Along with
No.
Russell Westbrook and James Harden. And I want to make a correction from
that
last
season, Mike, Russell Westbrook and James Harden didn't even make an All NBA team that season. So no.
Well, I mean, they're still who they are. I mean,
that
when we look
season,
at
Mike,
it on
they
paper,
didn't even make an All NBA team. They had one All NBA player. His name was Kevin Durant.
In none of those seasons?
No, I'm talking about the final season.
Okay.
In the final season, Russell Westbrook and James Harden didn't make an All NBA team. So let's not make it seem like it was some trio. That was Kevin Durant's team. That was at 24 years old.
But you said in the previous show that there was confusion about who 1A and 1B was.
That was the front office. That wasn't on the court.
Okay.
You just got done saying yourself that on the court it shouldn't be a question that Kevin
No,
Durant.
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Okay. So the question that I was posing wasn't about how it was happening in terms of who should get what on the court. It was how management was treating the players off the court.
So they were treating them like that off the court without the validation of Westbrook and James Harden. I mean, they were pretty good players. They're all top 40 scorers all the time.
They're pretty good players, Mike. They're pretty good players. They didn't make an All-NBA team the year that they went to the finals. Like, you can't escape that fact. Like, you don't get to say that they were as good. If they were as good as you think that they were, then why didn't they make an All-NBA team that says that they're one of the 15 best players in the league? Because Kevin Durant was on the first team that year and won the scoring title that year and came second in the MVP that year to LeBron.
All I'm saying, Coop, is when we look back at it in history.
Hold on, Mike. When has the runner-up of the MVP ever not been questioned as the leader of the team, Mike?
I mean, I get it. You're right. I mean, I get that part of it. That's why I said in the previous episode it was ridiculous to even have the 1A, 1B conversation. But
he went to 4 conference finals before Golden State and another 3. So he's been to 7 conference finals and 4 NBA finals.
He had some good guys on his team because what people are going to say.
He's been the best guy on all those teams.
I understand what you're saying, but on those teams that you're talking about, he had a top 40 scorer all time in Westbrook and James Harden. That's what people are going to see on paper in the future. When people look back at Durant's career, they're going to see that in those years you're talking about, he played with Westbrook. He played with James Harden. When he went to the finals and won, he played with Steph, Draymond, and Klay Thompson. We're going to see that in Brooklyn, he played with Kyrie and James Harden. We're going to see on paper that he played with Booker and Chris Paul. I mean, that's all I'm saying. So I think that people are going to factor these things in on his overall all-time greatness.
Mike, every great player that moves around plays with other great players when the team wins. What are you saying? Like, I could do the same thing with LeBron. Like, I don't know if KD has played with somebody other than Curry that's as good as Wade yet. Like LeBron has played with Wade and AD. That's better than any 1-2 that KD's had.
Wait a minute. You said other than Curry. Curry's clearly better than Wade. And I love Wade.
Yeah, but like I said, and then there's AD. So go ahead. What's the comp to AD? Russell Westbrook?
Huh?
Because every NBA GM with the brain, Mike, if you're comparing AD and Russell Westbrook, they're like, give me AD.
I understand what you're saying, and a lot of things could be said about LeBron in that faction. But
don't say Kyrie.
No, let me finish. Let me finish. Because what also could be said about LeBron is he took a team with Eric Snow and all of those guys to the finals as well. We also could say that a LeBron-led team demolished Detroit Pistons, and he didn't have any of those individuals on his squad. KD's always played with guys of that talent level. I mean, it's just the truth.
This is what I'm trying to express to you. And I don't think you're still not listening to me.
I don't think you're listening to me.
No, I'm listening. No, I'm listening to you. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
How many NBA champions do you think, or how many NBA Finals teams do you think in the last, let's say, 20 years, since 2003, how many teams do you think have had only one All-NBA player on a finals team, Mike? You want to pull it up and find out?
Toronto Raptors, off the top of my head. And they won.
You got one.
Are you talking about just going to the finals, or?
Yes, just going, Mike. It doesn't happen regularly. And I keep on trying to say this to you. When you keep talking about how great Russell Westbrook and James Harden were, Mike, but when they went to the finals, they weren't.
Yeah.
They were just ascending. But Kevin Durant.
So you don't think they were?
Can I finish? But that season, Kevin Durant, Mike, here's some facts. All NBA first team. That's a fact. Mike, runner up for MVP. That's a fact. Mike, scoring champion. That's a fact. He was literally the only player at the time on that team with any real accolades. Outside of Russell Westbrook making the All-Star team.
Okay, so he carried that OKC team throughout the playoffs.
At age 24, Mike. At age 24.
Throughout the playoffs. No, he carried that team throughout the playoffs, and Westbrook and James Harden didn't do anything in that Western Conference playoff run.
James Harden played excellent against the Spurs, and he's part of the reason that they won that series was his contributions off the bench. Mm-hmm. Russell Westbrook was solid, but he was a clear number 2 to Durant. And he would only average about 22 points to Durant's 30, which is really how it was supposed to go. That's why they went to the finals. That's when they actually had some order. That's when Durant was shooting more. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's
like,
got
when
to
they
shoot
actually
more.
operated the way that they were supposed to operate, as in when you give him talent and you make him the focal point and he shoots more than the second and the third, finals. That was proven at age 24.
Why is he not shooting more? When we clearly know every team he goes to, he's the best player. Why is he not shooting more?
How about this? I can understand that in Golden State because Clay and Steph need to shoot. Like,
well, Golden State's a whole different thing. I ain't talking about that. That's already a culture.
Steph needs to shoot because Steph's comparable as a player, and Clay needs to shoot about his streaky nature. So I get that. But other than that, Mike, you're right. He's supposed to average about 25 to 30 shots for his career.
Yeah.
His career shot average is right about 19. That's way too low.
That's on him. And I guess all I was trying to express in previous shows, I don't like the fact that Westbrook kind of takes the brunt of the fact that he's just not offensively aggressive. That's the pattern here.
The I'm not knocking Russell Westbrook's aggression ever. I'm knocking his basketball IQ as a point guard and the turnovers.
No, I'm not talking about you knocking his aggression. I'm saying that KD's lack of aggression in that sense seems to spill over into making it seem like Westbrook's taking shots from him. Like, no, he just doesn't want to take that many shots.
No, I don't think that's true, Mike, because he won 4 scoring titles and he won 3 of them taking more shots than him. That's what I'm saying. I think it became a Westbrook thing. And he's a talented player. It's an efficiency thing, Mike. Part of why he went to Golden State is because he's seen that much like him, it's like, oh, they're like me. They only need about 20 shots to get their 30. I can play with that. I'm playing with a guy that needs 30 shots sometimes to get his 30. I don't like playing ball that way.
Let me get to the super chats real quick before they stop doing it. 007 with the super chat says, you already know. The Knicks, stand by. Okay. All right, we're going to see. Yeah, we'll definitely be here for it. Jay Short with the super chat says.
You know what I'm talking about? It's absurd.
Jay Short with the super chat says, congrats to Embiid on getting the MVP. Now I can finally stop whining about it and focus on playing and winning playoff games. Shout out to Embiid, even though I do think that this might have been the one that Jokic really deserved.
Mike, you've been on Jokic the entirety of the time we're doing this show, and all of a sudden he's playing Kevin Durant, and you're acting like you're a fan of his. You were so wet.
No, I'm respecting the game, man. Like, yeah, I said that Jokic wasn't legit.
You said he comes up small in the playoffs.
He does. I said that, and he's obviously turned the corner, just like James Harden has turned the corner. That nigga James Harden looked great the other day. I was sitting here at home like, yes. That's what I'm talking about.
I told you.
No, I was hyped about
Mike, we're not done with this yet. Every great player, how about this? Let's go through the top 10 players of all time. Part of why I think Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, Mike, is because he's actually the only guy that didn't play with the top 25 player. Magic, Kareem, That's 2 in the top 10. Mike, Shaq, Kobe.
They're right there, yeah.
LeBron has had Dwayne Wade, top 25 player. He's had Kyrie. He's got AD. These are top 75 players, Mike. He's had Kevin Love. No.
I don't think AD should have made that, but yeah, I feel you.
Ish.
Yeah.
You know, like top
Dwight
100.
Howard got shafted on that, but yeah.
Top 100 player.
Yeah.
Kyrie. No. Everybody plays with somebody. Tim Duncan and Michael Jordan are the only one that played with lesser. And then you got to look at it. Tim Duncan still played with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. No, those are surefire.
I mean, he came in the game with David Robinson. So.
David Robinson.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Akeem's the outlier, really.
I could see Akeem being the outlier. I think Akeem, he won that one without Drexler. And we saw what he was able to do with Ralph Sampson in the early 80s, a young Akeem. So, yeah, Akeem's definitely an outlier. How do you feel about Larry Bird? Where do you put Kevin McHale? I
got Kevin McHale as a top 5 power forward all time, Mike. Like if he wouldn't have played with Larry Bird, we would be like writing like books about like his game, Mike. Like
okay,
he was
so
like that.
You got Kevin McHale over Karl Malone?
Ish, yeah.
No.
I would take Kevin McHale over Karl Malone. How about this? I would take Charles Barkley, Kevin McHale, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan over Karl Malone. So I'd put him at 5. And I'd have Dirk at 6.
Nah, I think Dirk's clearly better than Kevin McHale. I think Karl Malone's clearly better than Kevin McHale.
Dirk never played defense in his life. Kevin McHale made all defensive teams.
I understand what you're saying, but Kevin McHale never had to be the number 1 on a team. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
that's fair.
As a number 2, you can't be better than the guy who's been a number 1 for a whole franchise. Like, it's a whole different pressure.
I dig it, Mike, but that's not his fault that the Celtics drafted him the year after they.
I mean, I wouldn't say whose fault it is. Like I'm just saying somebody's more qualified for that spot.
This? But this is what I'm saying. So let's go to Larry Bird right quick. It's like, no, Kevin McHale. How about this? Even if you don't think Kevin McHale the top 5 power forward, Mike, he's an easy top 10 power forward. Okay.
Where does he rank in overall though? Like, is he a top 40 player?
Yeah. 40, 50-ish. I'll put him in my top 50.
What y'all think in the chat? What y'all think in the chat? Andrew Williams with the super chat says, the thing is we fall into Kevin Durant being 7 feet and can pull up from 30 feet, but when it truly counts, and it's even on both sides, can he prevail? Good question.
I mean, he beat a more talented Spurs team a couple times. Like, it was a couple times, it was him
talking about
and
when
Westbrook.
He had Westbrook and Harden?
On 2 occasions, Mike, it was him and Westbrook versus Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Kawhi Leonard, and they whooped that ass. Like, so, like, that's what I'm saying. People forgot that stuff happened.
Westbrook's
like, no, that stuff
good.
happened. How do you think they got to Steph? They were up 3-1 on Steph. Mike, Game 6 is the reason that he went to Golden State.
Jay
Game 6.
Jay Short with the super chat.
That's when he decided he was going to Golden State. He was watching how they played ball on him, and he's like, "That's how I like to play."
Yeah. Jay Short with the super
he's
chat
like,
says.
The ball away. Oh, he's like, "Oh shit!" It's like it's a problem.
Jay Short with the super chat says people overrate players like Melo, Harden, and KD who make long, tough jumpers and give Giannis Booker instead of Middleton and see what happens. Yeah, if Giannis had Booker instead of Middleton, shit. Let's see. Gary Pierce with the super chat says Durant is a top 15 player, but he always played with top guys. All winners play with other top guys. Only Olajuwon won alone, and that was against them Knicks. And you guys hate back in '94. And you know what? Let's keep it real, guys. And I know Gary's from New York. The Knicks, man. The Knicks gave that series up, man. They went into the Garden and Game 6 didn't close out. They were up on these guys going home to the Garden at 3-2. So I hate to say it like this, but Olajuwon, even though he won and did it alone, I'm going to say alone, he had his team, he utilized his team well, but he won against some chokers.
Now, Mike, did they choke or did they run out of gas?
They choked.
I don't know, Mike. I'm gonna tell you what I remember.
Because they did it. They did it again. They did it in you know what I'm saying, the next time they went to the final. I think that's what the Knicks do. The Knicks
I
choke.
mean, no. This is what the Knicks do, but
Yeah.
particularly in that series, Mike. This is what I'm saying.
And I love
Well, them
Ewing.
jump-
He choked
no,
against
Mike.
Indiana.
In Game 6, them jump shots that was going in games 1 through 5, they started coming up short. You know why? Because it's the end of a long year, and the last guy that you want to see in the paint, like maybe in the history of basketball, is Akeem Olajuwon. They were tired, Mike.
Starks shot
There was
2
not,
for
and Mike,
18.
and this is what I mean by jump
in Game
shots.
7.
Oh, they realized after 5 games, it's like, yeah, they go into the whole shit.
Well, let's get to the music because we could be on this all day.
Right.
Missy Elliott inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame along with DJ Kool Herc. Congratulations to both of them. So Missy becomes the first female rapper. I think Rock the Bells was posting it like that. First female rapper to enter into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Missy actually made a statement on this. She said earlier this morning, "It's times I have gotten online and seen you're irrelevant, you're a flop, you're washed up, and it crushed me at times. But God, you made me strong. I kept going and allowed my decades of work to speak for itself. I am humbled. Thank you all my supporters. I love you." Who's ever called Missy washed up and a flop?
No disrespect.
I love Missy, man. I love Missy. I think she deserves this honor, but not right now. Not right now.
Ooh, Mike.
Hey, you know, no. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Like, you know, these past 2 hip hop choices for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they feel like inclusion choices, diversity hires almost.
Very problematic.
No, just keep it real, man. Like, somebody needs to explain to me how, and I'm gonna leave the tribe thing out of it. I've spoke my piece on the tribe shit or whatever because they didn't make it in this time. They were on the ballot. They're gonna put that on the fans, not they meaning tribe, but you know the institution's gonna put that on the fans, whatever. I'm gonna leave tribe out of this conversation. That's a conversation for another day. But I wanna zero in on Snoop Doggy Dogg. I don't understand why he hasn't been on this ballot yet. I think Snoop is probably the most famous rapper ever. There's no way on earth Eminem and Missy make it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Snoop Dogg. If you told 16-year-old Mike in 1998 that, you know, Missy, who had Super Duper Fly out at the time, and the guy who made Hi My Name Is would make it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Snoop Doggy Dogg, I would laugh at you. TD says she deserves it, Mike. Stop. Does she deserve it right now? Because if you're going to, let's just say they say, you know what, we need a female rapper in there. You know, there's a lot going on with women empowerment, which is great. I think that's awesome stuff. Your choice has to be Lil' Kim first. If we're going to go there. If we're going to go wealth of catalog, impact, and how you change the course of things, because NWA is in there for that exact reason, right? NWA has 2 albums, but NWA's impact and how they changed the course of hip-hop and the way things are going, that's why they're there. And I think Lil' Kim should be there for the same exact reason. No, it gets no more rock star-ish than Lil' Kim. And for anybody who's been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you talk about like the clothes and the memorabilia and all of those things that they involve in their pieces and just the overall historic value of it, Kim brings you all those things. And the other name, and I just got to keep it all the way a buck, man. Why is Outkast not on this ballot in any of these years? Outkast came out in 1994. They've been eligible for some time now. They've actually been eligible for about 3, going on 4 years now.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So tell me how in the world a group that has had the impact that Outkast has had on the whole industry and putting the South on the map, Atlanta specifically, and Atlanta's kind of been running the game for at least 20-something years, would you say? They're as
I feel
important.
like the West Coast took it back for a while with TDE.
Okay, that's cool. Not radio-wise, though. But...
We're talking about, I mean...
But yeah. It goes,
I don't know how proud we should be of that right now.
Yeah.
Radio
But,
sucks. You know
all right, this is the thing, though. It's like, Outkast is to the South as a whole what Run DMC was to the hip-hop game as a whole. And I think they even took it further from a commercialized longevity standpoint. And we even talk about, just the prominence of somebody like an Andre and Big Boy all the time. I don't see how Outkast hasn't gotten consideration yet. And maybe you guys can help me in the chat. I mean, how do you guys think that Eminem and Missy Elliott get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before the group that's so diamond with their double disc that was the only rap group ever to actually win album of the year at the Grammys, and not to mention being the group that put the South on the map on a commercialized level? How does Missy and Eminem's impact trump those guys?
Are you asking me? Or are you asking people?
Why hasn't Snoop or Outkast been on this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot yet?
The Snoop thing is a little bit... You know what, Mike? Every list that everybody does, Andre's 3000 is in everybody's top 10. It's like Rolling Stone is like the only people that don't have him in the top 10. It's like Rolling Stone and us.
And it's based on what? Outkast material, right?
That's exactly what I was about to say, Mike.
Yeah.
And if you feel that way, what are you basing that on exactly?
Exactly.
Because people are like, and here's the thing, and I think Jay-Z said it best on A Star Is Born, like a female version of Lauryn Hill. So it's like people look at the Love Below like the miseducation. I'll say this again. Tired of saying this. Miseducation got 3 rap songs, Mike, with 3 verses.
It does.
And hooks, Mike.
It does. And she got a couple rap verses on the, Everything Is Everything.
A couple spare verses in. Just Everything Is Everything got a verse, Mike.
It's a dope verse, too.
She just got some bar work everywhere, Mike. That's 10, Mike. That's 10 verses now. Now, as soon as you can get and play the Love Below, and you can find me 10 rap verses. The verse to spread is that a rap? Is that a verse? Is that a rap verse?
I got my eye out. I got my eye out for those who cries out passionately. We'll do things backwardly, forwardly, horizontally. I'm too young to be
settling down.
Yeah, quick to change my mind tomorrow. To knock and I borrow your timid torso more so than your soul. Honestly, got to be how I roll. Fuck the rhythm. Tuck the rhythm under your bosom. You're the prism. Shirley Chisholm was the first. Let's rehearse. Making a baby. Put in your order. I want a baby daughter. Yeah, I know some of his verses. Dance to the tip of my tongue.
So there's Spread.
And then
there's A Day in the Life of Andre Benjamin.
And Happy Valentine's Day.
And Happy Valentine's Day.
I actually like that verse the most.
I think I like the Spread verse the most.
I like the Spread verse a lot too. Jay Short with the super chat.
So that's 2 verses, Mike. Let's count the Day in the Life of Andre Benjamin. How many bars is that? What's that, Mike?
I don't know.
About 60,
we're going to chop that up into like 20 verses or something. I don't know.
It feels like it's about 60 to 70 bars. How you feel? Feel about 60, 70 bars-ish?
Probably. You might
Maybe
have went
more?
that 100
You think
bars.
it's 100 bars?
Possibly. I'm going to count that. I'm going to get back with you on Friday on that.
People act like that's like, people act like he made 5 songs with that song.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I'm with you 99%, Mike. These are black artists who made music that other communities also love, but 1 in a million changed R&B. Snoop crossed over, but his music never really did like that. Huh. Y'all don't feel like Snoop's music crossed over? I see this guy, or, every time I go to like these karaoke's, right? There's always people who you wouldn't typically see as hip-hop fans doing gin and juice. I mean, it's like people know these records. You don't feel like Snoop's music crossed over. I think that's an interesting statement.
You want to know it? What if I told you like the Chronic and Doggy Style crossed over, but Snoop crossed over more as a personality, a marketing maven?
He's a rock star.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like he doesn't make dope music, Mike, but there is very, like, how about this? It's like, what do you think about, Mike, what are his best singles in the modern era? Like, let's say post, like, when did, like, Drop It Like It's Hot and Beautiful and all that come out?
I would say Drop It Like It's Hot is a crossover, and that was 2004. Rhythm and Gangsta's 2004, I believe.
And when did Beautiful come out? Is that before that, like 2002?
That's before that. That's like 2002. Yeah.
I mean, Mike, I'm
That's
saying
on
those
Church
are probably
and
his two biggest crossover records as far as like the rock star music persona is concerned, and that was 20 years ago.
Well, does Missy have crossover records like the three that we just named? Gin and Juice, Beautiful, and Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yeah, Mike.
What?
Like, not as recent. Are you talking about recency?
What are her crossover records?
Oh, I mean, Mike, The Rain.
You think that's a crossover record?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Man, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't never heard nobody outside of urban culture play that record. Like, that's not the record that gets played on, like, CHR stations.
Gossip
Now,
Folks,
Get Your Freak On,
Gossip
dude.
Folks, 1 Minute Man, none of that.
Those are urban records, man.
Get Your Freak On's a crossover.
Now, that's
Mike.
the one I would say. Yeah, I would give her that and maybe Work It. But even when we talk about those records, they didn't age well, man. But again,
the Missy and Sierra joint.
This is the thing, though, Coop. I feel like
she got a lot of bangers, Mike.
No, I love Missy, man. I think she deserves it, but I mean,
you don't think All in My Grill? I don't know, Mike. I knew white girls that was singing All in My Grill.
Nah, that's an urban record, man. It ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying this is hip hop, and I think it's great to do that. You got to do that. You got a foundation, but the way they started out this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they started it out with Grandmaster Flash. So all that crossover stuff really shouldn't even be part of the subject. What do you mean to music? And you can flip it however you want to. Snoop Dogg means a lot to music.
Hey, Mike,
period.
you know, Mike, Get Your Freak On and Work It. Yeah, that's bigger than Snoop's post Doggy Style stuff. Post Doggy Style. It is. Like, as far as crossover, Get Your Freak On and Work It specifically, now that I think about it, yeah. That's bigger than Beautiful and Drop It Like It's Hot if you're talking crossover. You want to pull up the charts and see? I bet you they did way better.
I guess, but it ain't no Gin and Juice. It's like
you're bringing up. I said post Doggy
No, but I
Style.
feel you. But it's almost like trying to compare somebody's prime to the non-prime of another person. It's not an even conversation. You know what I mean?
I feel you, Mike. But here's what you have to really ask yourself: how big really was Gin and Juice outside the community? And
huge.
Well, Mike, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's say it's Gin and Juice. What else does he have outside the community that's as big as Work It? So let's say Gin and Juice and Get Your Freak On.
G thing. I mean, he's a pretty big guy.
Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike. This is from somebody that loves some Still DRE, Mike. More people know of Still DRE than know Nothing But a G Thing. Nothing But a G Thing is a fucking black rap song.
Okay, so what about NWA? Again, this is inconsistencies here. You know what I'm saying?
People don't know NWA like that, Mike.
But they're in it. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Missy didn't make something groundbreaking like Straight Outta Compton. So if like you want to say that,
but I'm just saying we're switching the criteria. It's like they're in there for they're in there for groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying, in music and accomplishments in music and not crossover records, where it's like when it comes to Missy and Snoop, it's like now Snoop needs the crossover records. No, he has the type of impact. He should be in there for the same reasons the NWA's in there, is what I'm saying.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't just start changing the rules when it comes to certain people. You know what I mean?
Mike, Work It was a number 2 single.
Yeah, it's a big record.
On Billboard's charts, Mike, not R&B, Billboard.
I understand. But again,
I don't think you
NWA ain't got one of those either. But they in there, is what I'm saying.
Get Your Freak On.
Beastie Boys is in there, as they should be. 36 Chambers with the Super Chat says, Mike, you're forgetting who makes these decisions.
7. Number 7 for Get Your Freak On. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. 36 Chambers with the Super Chat says, Mike, you're forgetting who makes these decisions. Look at the panel who decides these things. They're all 30, 35-ish. I bet. And rock and pop fans, that's why M and Missy are there. It's not for us. Again, I think that's a fair argument, but I like to look at how it started. And it started with actual real credibility in that sense by having Grandmaster Flash first. Then they did Run DMC. I think they did Beastie Boys after that. Then they did Public Enemy. It's like, okay, cool. This all makes sense. Then NWA. Then boom, Tupac or whatever. I get that. And then boom, Biggie. And it's like, okay, well, feel like LL's really, really getting slept on. And this is around the time when I wrote that LL article. And obviously they came back and cleaned that up. But once they jumped to Eminem and now Missy, it's like, okay, this ain't just LL being forgotten out of the mix. Now you got Snoop, Cass, Wu-Tang, Tribe. Like, there's no real argument from cultural impact to say that Eminem and Missy should be in something like this over Wu-Tang and Snoop Dogg. Now, come on, man. So, based on what you're saying with crossover records, so Wu-Tang just shouldn't get in, huh?
That's not what I'm saying, Mike.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to provide evidence. I will say this: Snoop has 4 top 10 hits. What's crazy, Mike? You know what the number 1 record is? He actually has a number 1 record.
Drop It Like It's Hot, probably, right? Or Beautiful.
It is Drop It Like It's Hot. Drop It Like It's Hot was number 1 for 3 weeks.
So, I was
Beautiful.
right. So,
Listen,
Drop It Like It's Hot was bigger than Work It and Get Your Freak On.
It was, Mike. So you're right.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Beautiful. Listen to this, Mike. Work It charts at number 2 and Get Your Freak On charts at number 7. Beautiful charted at number 6.
There it is. So
and Mike Feather and Cap, Gin and Juice charted at number 8.
There we go. And this is in 1993.
And What's My Name charted at number 9.
And this is in 1993, where hip-hop music had very limited radio access, where certain radio stations in certain markets were only playing hip-hop music after a certain hour. So he had to fight against that on top of that. Yeah, man.
Now, Mike, in fairness, Mike, Hot Boys Remix broke the record for most weeks at number 1 on the U.S. R&B chart. It spent 18 weeks at number 1 on the rap charts, too.
That's crazy. But see, a lot of that stuff is predicated on when you come out, too. You know what I mean? Like, I think the charts are a great measure. But
this is why, Mike, she's the best-selling female rapper in Nielsen music history. She sold 40 million records worldwide.
Well, that's awesome. But
I'm trying to see I'm just trying to compare.
Wu-Tang,
I wonder how many top 10 records she has versus Snoop. If that's what their moniker or marker is, see how many records Snoop has sold worldwide. This is what I'm saying, Mike. Like I'm trying to.
They said it's not about record sales. This is what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame said. So record sales aren't even a part of it. NSYNC should be in there. You know what I mean? Because NSYNC did 1 million units in one day. Jay Short with the super chat said, Mike, if Snoop's music crossing over like that, why didn't they let him perform any of his songs at the Super Bowl? Missy got off 3 or 4 songs at the Super Bowl. You know what? Let's just address the elephant in the room here, because we all know that Snoop would have been able to do that Super Bowl performance by himself with his catalog with no problem. I think everybody would have known all the records that he would have performed. We saw him in the verses, all that stuff. I think the fact that Snoop has a certain image, because we also have to look at the fact that Snoop has never even won a Grammy in his whole career. Why are they shutting Snoop out of these doors in this way? Is it the fact that maybe Snoop is too real for the industry? Maybe Snoop is just not somebody that they want to credentialize like that. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that he's not even on the ballot. Like, not to be, and I know that 36 Chambers was saying the people who, make these decisions. Well, we see that Dr. Dre is always in tow with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's up there speaking. He introduced LL Cool J. NWA's in there. Eminem got in there right after LL Cool J and all that stuff. So it's like, even with that relationship that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame clearly has with Dr. Dre and Interscope, Snoop Dogg can't even get on a fucking ballot? Are we serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. Like, if Dr. Dre is Phil Jackson, as we kind of uncovered on the last episode, and I want to kind of clarify some of my Dr. Dre statements too. If Dr. Dre's Phil Jackson, Snoop Dogg's Michael Jordan, man. It's what it is.
Actually, Mike, according to how it really looks, well, no, you're right. Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense. Why this man has no Grammy, he has no, nomination at least, because they know if Snoop gets on that ballot and they put it on the fans, he's getting in there. Like, with the following that Snoop has and how active he is in social media and all that, he's getting in there. They don't want him on the ballot. That's the only thing I could deduce to it.
Because he made deep cover.
Right. Right. I agree. I don't think there is a bigger... I mean, I say this respectfully, man. This is because I'm just giving props to Snoop. I don't think there is a bigger rock star in hip-hop than Snoop.
I don't think there's a bigger rock star in rock than Snoop. What do you
exactly.
mean?
No, I just want to be specific.
Yeah,
I think hip-hop has the biggest rock stars, period. So, yes, I don't think there's a bigger rock star over a 30-year period than Snoop. Doggy Style celebrating 30 years this year. And that's another missed opportunity. The fact that this man didn't get inducted in for the 30th anniversary of Doggy Style is egregious. It is.
I don't know what else to say, Mike. I mean, that's the thing. It's like Snoop is like the glaring omission based on what would be their quote unquote rubric or something that resembles a criteria. And I think pretty much just comparing, because I'm pretty certain Snoop has probably sold more albums worldwide than Missy too. And
yeah.
So, he's got the same level of hits damn near.
He's been in this longer. He's sold more records. He's bigger. I mean, let's just call it what it
more
is.
More brandable and marketable, even though he made deep cover.
I guess my question to the Academy or whatever, well, the Academy as well, that's the Grammys. Why is Snoop consistently getting shut out of all of these industry doors? I want to know. Especially with the people that he helped immensely seem to be walking straight through these doors and running these doors. 36 Chambers of the Super Chat says, charts alone are not indicative of pop culture and impact, of course. I hear it, he said, I hear work it way more in the world and on the internet than drop it like it's hot in the 2020s. Okay? I haven't heard work it in a minute. I think the only Missy song that I do consistently hear is maybe like Get Your Freak On, and I don't think that one aged too well. I mean, this is me as a Missy fan, though.
I was never a big fan of that record like everybody else, though, Mike. I like Lick Shots way more.
Me too. I couldn't wait until Lick Shots came on that part of the video.
Yeah, Lick Shots was a joy.
Jay Short with the Super Chat says, Tim for a hat. If Snoop isn't there, who is Dre's number one protege? Seems like they're trying to erase Snoop's musical legacy to elevate someone else. Thinking emoji. It's interesting because at the Super Bowl, I remember complaining about the fact that they didn't even let Snoop actually do a fucking song. And they marketed that whole Super Bowl halftime show as a Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre halftime show. And Snoop couldn't even get a couple songs off. But someone else was able to get a couple songs off. Antonio with the Super Chat says, Missy's greatest hits album and the hits are still banging. She wrote and produced hits in hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Missy is groundbreaking in hip-hop and music. Of course she is.
I get that. We get that.
But what we're saying is, okay, Antonio, do you still...
Big, both you and I, like, we agree on Missy.
Of course we agree on that. Yeah. But Antonio, do you really believe she should be in there before Outkast and Snoop and Wu-Tang?
How?
Because I know the argument with Tribe would be like...
when your album comes out, right?
Right.
97, right?
Yeah. It's based on, when you put out your first major release. Now, let's just be real here. There was never any Missy release that was anticipated like Doggy Style was. There's never any Missy release that's been heralded like Into the 36 Chambers. And I know it's unfair to do, but Missy's career is not Outkast's career. It's not. It's not.
Oh no, I mean it's not even.
It's not.
Yeah, they don't even got.
And like I said, and if they wanted to do,
Might work.
and I don't like saying these things because it seems like I'm coming down on Missy, and I love Missy. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of Missy's music when it wasn't popular to be a fan of Missy's music. We went out there and bought her efforts and all that. But I think it does a disservice to her and her illustrious career to give her this honor because she's a woman. Like, I don't think that's the right thing to do. And if you're gonna go that route, if you want to go that route, Lil Kim is your pick. No, if you want to go that route, Lil Kim is your pick. Straight up.
So you feel like they just chose a woman this year? Is that how you feel?
I mean, it feels like both of these last,
like an election year or some shit.
These last two inductees seem like inclusion inductees. They do.
Ooh, these are diversity hires.
It's what it seems like. I mean, it really does. Because again, you can't tell me any reason. You can't justify any reason why these two are in there before Snoop Dogg. Can't.
Actually, I mean, Jordan House just said it best. What about Queen Latifah? He said Lil Kim or Queen Latifah. Like, we brought up Kim. What about Queen Latifah?
I love Queen Latifah. And I think,
what about Light, Mike?
I think Queen Latifah and Light, I put them, I mean, obviously, you know how I feel about that, right? I put them in that whole tribe
objectively.
No, right. I put that in that whole tribe argument. I already know how they really have impacted everything, but you know what people will say? Oh, they didn't sell this. They didn't have this hit. They weren't big enough. So that's why I want to hone in on Snoop, Wu, Cass, and Kim. You can't say they didn't do anything. You can't say that they weren't crossover enough. You can't say that they didn't have these big rock and roll moments in music. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kim's outfits alone are legendary. The moment when she went out there at the MTV Awards with Diana Ross, she got those type of moments. She got All About the Benjamins and Quiet Storm type of moments. She's a rock star. Now, obviously, Salt and Pepper, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, Tribe, they all have that impact. But again, it's that same argument where we don't expect the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to acknowledge those things. Mike, but Kim, you can't ignore that one.
Don't forget Ladies Night and Lady Marmalade, Mike. She got posse cuts with the females where she got bar work too. There's bar work everywhere.
Are you talking about Kim's? Yeah. I mean, you know, Kim did it all.
No. This is what I'm saying. Don't think about it, Mike. Lady Marmalade was big. With Christina Aguilera. And
that was huge.
No, that shit's massive, Mike.
Yeah. Probably one of the biggest records of its time.
Easy.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, "Where's Snoop 4-page letter of 1 in a million?" Well, you know what? I would like to say, can I interest you in Let Me Ride? Or what about the fucking Chronic? Let's not talk about pen work for other people when it comes to Snoop Dogg.
Deep cover.
Right. Is you telling me that you bumping 4-page letter and 1 in a million over the Chronic and deep cover? Get the fuck out of here, man. Cut it out.
1 in a million.
Coming out, man.
1 in a million, possibly, Mike. That might be the best beat ever made. But I get what you're saying.
Come on, man. Let's cut it out, man. Cut it out, man. Like, let's just be 100% real. I don't want to take away props from somebody on a great day like this, but we got to stop just taking certain great people for granted. I don't know why Snoop continuously gets shitted on by his industry. He's given way too much to this industry to be shitted on in this way. That's the problem, man. When you got people who gave so much and don't even get that credit for whatever reason, it looks weird. It looks weird.
No, the Snoop thing is... I don't know.
And yeah, Latifah did cross over, but not with her music. We know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love Latifah. I think she's an underrated boss in this game.
It's been a minute since we pulled up on somebody, Mike. It might be time to pull up on that ass a little bit, Mike. We might need to ask the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame some questions.
The fuck, yeah. I mean,
what exactly is your criteria? Because here's what we need to do, Mike. I know you have a list of all the inductees. We need to see if they're actually matching their criteria because, Mike, I don't think they know what they're doing.
They clearly don't. But you know what? I disagree. I think they do know what they're doing. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know very well.
This is institutional.
They know very well who Snoop Dogg is in this game. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they always tapped in with Dr. Dre, so they clearly know who Snoop Dogg is in this game. They know exactly what they're doing.
Interscope. The fuck doesn't know.
Somebody said me speaking on Kim's outfits is ridiculous. I guess you don't know what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is. It's actually a museum where you have nothing but paraphernalia from rock stars and artists. So that's why I spoke to her outfits. There would be a whole display for Lil' Kim, is what I mean.
I like to quote Snoop Dogg, don't get pimp slapped.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Snoop is a one-trick pony. You acting like he pop.
Very shady.
Listen, man, Snoop is clearly not a one-trick pony. He started out on some gangster shit. He went from being able to make deep cover to making beautiful to making drop it like it's hot. So he's clearly not a one-trick pony. And if you want to talk about the Pac thing, he was bigger than Pac when Pac was here. Until Pac,
and he's one of the few people that can actually say that.
Yeah. So
him and Ice Cube can say that.
Exactly. You know, Death Row was Snoop Dogg's house. You know what I'm saying? Snoop was Dwayne Wade, and Pac was joining his team.
Like to welcome you to come into the
Exactly, right. Welcome to Death Row. Jay Short with the super chat says, to me, if you were going to do this, you put Timbaland and Missy in there as a duo. Cass hurts themselves by not ever lasting a decade. And 3,000 tapping out early. I agree with that. I agree with both of those things. And I think Timbaland should get acknowledgement too, because you guys keep mentioning Aaliyah records that were big. I mean, the writing was great on it, but they were big because of Timbaland.
It was, Missy and Timbaland is a perfect marriage.
So yeah,
I
get what you're saying.
Like I told you, Mike, that 1 in a million beat though. When you talk about 1 in a million and 4-page letter, I had to pause for a second. It's like, no, I'm like, that shit slap. But
no, but if we're gonna talk about Missy's writing and we're gonna add that into the arsenal, then Timbaland should be in there too, right?
No, that's the part that I concur with.
Yeah, because I mean, even if we talk about her as an artist, he produced all of her stuff.
And he produced Aaliyah and Genuine stuff, Mike.
Yeah, and the stuff that she wrote on, he produced most of that. But if we talk about her as an artist, he produced all of that stuff.
I love some Up Jumps the Boogie, Mike.
Do you?
I love Up Jumps the Boogie.
And he produced for Magoo and stuff too, man. Shout out to Magoo.
Show you. Yeah, that was the jam, Mike.
Yeah, I actually bought that album. That was one of the first albums I bought as a kid. That Timbaland and Magoo, Welcome to Our World or something like that. Love that album.
Good old days. Love to Love You, Lobster and Shrimp with Jay.
Nah, Lobster and Shrimp was on. Nah, that was on Tim's bio. That was on Timbaland's solo album. But yeah, the Timbaland and Magoo, it had the what was that? Clock Strikes.
Lobster and Shrimp? Is that the one?
Nah, it had Love to Love You on there. It didn't have Lobster and Shrimp.
Lobster and Shrimp is on the album.
That was on Tim's bio. It had the Knight Rider beat on there. Where they,
that was the other joint. Okay. They got that from Slick Rick's Kit. What's the Scoop?
F.B says, Chef Mike is cooking tonight. Yeah, man, these people on some bullshit, man. Like, Snoop means too much to the culture of hip-hop to be omitted. I feel like that, because if he's not in there now, he's not getting on there.
Now, Mike, we've talked the glove. We've asked questions about why Snoop doesn't get the top 10 love that he's got. Snoop is currently, gotta pull up the list right quick. Snoop is currently 8th on our list, Mike, and he's already been pulled out. You know what I'm saying? So, and here's one thing that I'm noticing. Usually everybody that drops, nobody's usually dropping more than 10 spots. So he's easily a top 20 rapper all time based on, so he's got top 20 rapper credentials. Let's just say right now, like he sits at 8 on our list. So right now, technically be top 10 rapper credentials. He's made a top 10 rap album. In my opinion, the author of 2 in terms of the writing. You know what I'm saying? Along with the DLC on the Chronic. He's obviously made top 10 hits. He's got 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many records he's sold worldwide, Mike. I'm pretty sure it's more than 40 by now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is, too.
Like, Doggy Style did the 5-piece, you know what I mean? And that was back in the day. I'm pretty certain he's exceeded that by now.
I saw somebody in the chat say that, I guess they're questioning Snoop's impact on this culture, and I think it's so disrespectful. And
that's fair. Oh, Mike, no, he hasn't outsold Missy. He's at 37. Missy's at 40.
Okay, that's cool. But his impact is stronger. Let's just, I am my person. I mean, listen, man, like all of the stuff that we give Dr. Dre credit for after NWA, Snoop's a part of that. Like that whole resurgence that they were able to execute on around 2001 time, that doesn't happen without Snoop. The Chronic doesn't happen without Snoop. Doggy Style obviously doesn't happen without Snoop. What does Death Row look like without those things happening? What does Aftermath look like without 2001 happening the way that it did? Clearly, the plan for the first single was the next episode because Snoop was on it. And then when that plan changed, they still had to put Snoop on what was actually the first single.
Here is what I will tell you. You know how, like, and I think this is part of what's hurting Snoop, too. The dog father looms very, very large in this conversation, and people don't want to say it, Mike, and I'll tell you why. You know how they had the whole Belichick-Brady thing going on? It's like, well, who really deserves the credit? Like, this is the best. First of all, the Patriots dynasty is the best dynasty in the history of sports. Mm-hmm. That was 20 years of greatness that's never going to be replicated in any sport, period, point blank. It's the best dynasty ever. And there are two people that are, have the majority of the credit and the blame for some of the losses that probably belong to them, and that's Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. As soon as Bill Belichick left, the savant, the coach, because here's what people forget about Belichick, and like football fans know, especially I know the New Yorkers know, he won 2 Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator. His defensive game plan against the Buffalo Bills in the 1990 Super Bowl is in the Hall of Fame. Like, he has a game plan in the Hall of Fame. Bill Parcells went to NFC and AFC championship games before and after, but never won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick as his defensive coordinator. So that's who Belichick is. He's got his 6 head coach rings. He's got his 2 defensive coordinator rings. But Mike, as soon as Tom Brady left, he won a Super Bowl. So if you ever wondered about who Tom Brady was, as soon as Snoop left Dre, because keep in mind, Mike, when I mean the resume was flawless until the Dog Father, Mike, it was flawless. It wasn't that it was just like great. No, Mike, it's flawless until the Dog Father. And I think that did do something to his legacy because it made it seem like it's like, oh, well, Mike got an MVP before Phil Jackson showed up. Mike was Mike before Phil got there. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but again, this is kind of like...
And it took a while before he became Snoop, Mike, because I don't feel like he became Snoop until I heard Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. That's the Snoop Dogg. Like the Snoop that everybody loves and adores and promotes and is marketable. That guy doesn't pop back up until Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. Like the No Limit stuff is cool, but the whole package and it coming together and the music coming together, that's Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. Because this is what I mean.
I disagree. I think Top Dog.
You think it's Top Dog?
Yeah, Top Dog's a very good.
I went back and listened to Top Dog, Mike. Top Dog's not that good.
Top Dog's dope.
No, it's not, Mike. When's the last time you listened to Top Dog?
I listened to about a couple of months ago. Now, this is what I wanted to say, though, before I forget this.
It's solid, Mike, but it's not that dope, Mike. From the Church to the Palace is better.
Before I lose this train of thought, you act like the Aftermath album doesn't exist. They both crashed and burned without each other. And people like to omit that Aftermath album out of Dr. Dre's catalog, but he needed Snoop again.
No, this is the difference. I'm going to tell you the difference, Mike. Mm-hmm. The Aftermath album happened around the time where Dre was coming on about year number 10 in the game. They had never seen somebody be that great, rhyme-wise or production-wise, that long. So people had legitimate reason to feel like it was over. We got to think back to the times that we used to deal with, Mike, when it was like running back years for rappers and producers. Like, think about this, Mike. How long was Marley Marl's run, really?
No, I agree with you. 10 years was unprecedented at the time.
So when people are saying that he fell off, it's like, well, no, people have to understand that his run was unprecedented at the time. That's why it seemed like he fell off.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is the fact that once he got with Snoop, I think that's when his production credibility got to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? Like
I don't
we knew
see.
who Dre was, but I think that the standards after the Chronic and Doggy Style, they went through the roof. You know what I mean? And
Here's
that
what I'll tell you.
Aftermath album is not that. And what was the answer to that? We need to get back with Snoop, and 2001 happened.
See, that's not total. See, when you say that, you're missing the timeline because it's like, well, no, the Firm and Eminem happened before the 2001 album
Well, the
happened.
Firm wasn't well received. I mean, I could skip over the Firm, but yeah, I mean, if you want to add the Firm into the fold, that was part of his Forgot About Dre banter. You thought, say I turn pop and the Firm flop. Y'all are the reason that Dre ain't been getting no sleep. So
Well, that's
he
what y'all get
acknowledged the
for
Firm
releasing
as a
Firm
flop.
Biz instead of Phone Tap. You
But I'm
deserve that
saying,
smoke when you make those
so
kind of mistakes.
again, he had two flops on his hands, according to
Those
him.
aren't okay. But listen to what I'm saying. So I get what you're saying. Part of this, Mike, and I say this, like respectfully. Well, it's nobody ever sounded like Snoop on Dre's beats before. He had Ice Cube and the DLC and Easy. Like these guys are, they're a little bit more amped up and a little bit more aggressive, Mike. There's something that about when Dre switched to the G-Funk sampling and when Snoop comes along, that sounds like beautiful, Mike. But listen to what I'm trying to tell you. It's just like, no. Ice Cube sound beautiful on Dr. Dre shit. So do Easy. So do DLC before Snoop ever comes along. And that's what Dr. Dre really has in this conversation. And Mike, it's not banter. It's factual. Like,
I think
he's got that in the bag before Snoop even pops up. And you can't act like that didn't happen.
Well, this is what I would argue, right?
Because Easy Cube and the DLC succinctly has Emcees are all great at different things for different things, but vocally different. But none of them have Snoop's voice, but different in the fact that he was able to make classic stuff with those three succinct. No, like Snoop, yeah.
This is what I would argue. This is what I would argue. I would argue that, and yes, they made great classic music together before Snoop came along. But at that time, from a production standpoint, I feel like Dre was more in he was still kind of finding his sound because you had the Bomb Squad sound that was kind of floating around. I've said before that I feel like a lot of the stuff that's on Niggas for Life kind of gives you that follow the leader type of feel. But I think the sound that he came with on the Chronic and Doggy Style, which kind of became his hallmark, at least for that time period, is orchestrated by Snoop. And I think that the reason why Cube, once he went solo, he went straight to Bomb Squad and was successful with it is because he knows that stylistically, a lot of the stuff that Dre was doing at the time was very Bomb Squad influenced. And I think what makes Snoop so important to Dr. Dre as a producer is he's the guy that came along when Dre actually did something that differentiated himself from everybody else sonically. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because I want to say this too. My two favorite producer and rapper combinations in hip hop: number one, Snoop and Dre; number two, Missy and Timbaland. And that's just what it is. It's always been that way. And so, yes, I hold both of them to high regard. I'm not just bashing one or the other. I just think that for the certain individuals in those pairings to get props where the other one doesn't, I think it's weird.
I get what you're saying. So first of all, this is what I'm trying to say too. I mean, and Glove talked about this. Well, the whole G-Funk thing, Glove said it's like that came from me and Dre riding around.
Yeah.
Like literally talking about like what we was gonna do next. Mike, back in those days, and I'm not being funny when I say this, you're only as good as the next great sample that you hear that somebody else hasn't heard yet.
Yeah.
And so Ice Cube's a genius for using Bomb Squad because definitely inspired. Like when you hear Boys in the Hood and like all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no. You can tell what they listening to, Mike. They listening to the Def Jam releases that's coming out. They're listening to LL Cool J's radio. They're listening to Yo Bum Rush the Show. Like, no. They're listening to Beastie Boys' License to Ill. To be honest with you, Boys in the Hood sounds like License to Ill to me. You know what
I
I'm
can
saying?
see
Beat
that
wise,
too.
it sounds like Rick Rubin. Really.
I say that a lot. I think the Beastie Boys are a big influence on NWA. Even if you listen
agree,
to
Mike.
the similarities between vocally of Eazy-E and Mike D, and the way
I agree.
that Ice Cube was writing was very Beastie Boys-esque.
I agree, Mike.
Yeah.
It was like Beastie Boys meets Chuck D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with those things.
Because, these niggas is from Compton and Inglewood.
No, they just had an edge to it.
But, Mike, this is what I'm saying. Did it ever occur to you? And this is what I mean. Part of what made Dre, did it ever occur to you that he started making this stuff because he heard Snoop, and by then he had a mastery of stuff and knew what to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. It's his first real protege. You know what I mean?
Well, because here's the thing. He had to make stuff a certain type of way because of the rhetoric, because he was who he was dealing with.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Snoop,
but that makes Snoop very important.
Who Snoop is vocally gave Dr. Dre the opportunity to start using some of those samples that him and Glove were talking about that they wanted to use.
Exactly, and that makes Snoop very important. With
that
the Ice
makes
Cube,
Dre as a producer and a coach.
Of course, listen, we know how important Dre is.
That's why I'm bringing up why the Dogfather is looming large over this musically too, because it's like that. Well, as soon as he left Dre, it's almost like people treat the Snoop and Dre pairing like Snoop was in the wilderness for about 6 or 7 years until
Well, see, I don't
like
that narrative.
To a slight degree, it's not that's not the total narrative. But Mike, there's a little bit of smoke there, Mike, and the Dogfather's a whole fire.
Well, the thing is, bro, it's like, it's not easy leaving any producer, especially somebody like Dre. And the fact that, and I wanted to harp on what Ice Cube was able to do. Ice Cube was able to jump to the guys that, like you said, they clearly were listening to, and it didn't sound like a total change for his audience. You know what I mean? Like, if you leave somebody like Dre or NWA and Dre making the beats at the time, you better make sure that the production side of things doesn't end up lacking. But for Cube, it was genius for him to say, you know what? I'm going to Bomb Squad because there's not going to be a drop-off on any point because these guys are what we were listening to. Now, in Snoop's case...
in the chat is saying Above the Law invented G-Funk. What say to you to that?
I'm with that. I mean, but again, we can't ignore the fact that no one's saying that Dre invented anything, but he actually made it palatable to make it bigger. He made it bigger. I'll put it that way. Michael Jackson didn't invent the moonwalk. He made it bigger. That's what it is. But as far as Cube going to Bomb Squad, that was a smart thing because the audience was... It's not going to be a drop-off production-wise. But if you got a whole new artist... Hold on, let me finish this real quick. If you got a whole new audience, if you got a whole new artist, right, and all he knows is working with somebody like Dr. Dre, and he's gone through this murder trial and all this other stuff and all this extra stuff going on, and then Dre leaves and he has to make an album by himself, yes, it's going to be a drop-off. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. What do we expect him to do? He didn't have that direction anymore. And I know we look at Brady going to Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay was set up. That's like if Brady would have went somewhere that wasn't set up. And that's what Death Row was at the time.
That ain't what Bella... See, listen to what I'm saying. You know why? You want to know why Brady left and went to a better situation or a setup situation?
Things were falling apart.
He paid attention to the things that his teacher taught him. That's why I'm bringing up the Dogfather and those albums in between. It's like, okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. And this is the part of it that you're missing, Mike. And maybe everybody else is missing it too. First of all, let's get this Above the Law and G-Funk thing out the way. Who was Above the Law signed to, Mike?
I don't remember who Above the Law was signed to.
Ruthless and Death Row, Mike.
Were they? Okay.
Who you think they're working with, Mike?
Oh, they were signed to Death Row? I thought it was just Ruthless.
No, but Mike, if they signed to Ruthless and Death Row, who's the main producer for Ruthless?
Yeah, of course.
Where do you think? Hello, knock. All right, let's go ahead and get that out the way.
Well, hold on. I do want to respond to your correlation, right? I don't think Snoop had enough time to be under Dr. Dre's tutelage at that moment to make that a fair comparison. We can tell now in the way that Snoop A&R's projects, he learned a lot from Dre over the years. But we can't expect him to have taken away all of that game over a year or two's time and say, okay, you're on your own. And now you got to make this album that follows up Doggy Style. You know what I mean?
Okay, Mike, Mike, Deep Cover gets released April 9th of 1992. So let's say the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg recordings start January 1992. All right?
Right.
Let's see when the Dogfather got released, Mike.
It was 90, I think that was 97. Now, hold on. I want to say this too.
No,
Process
that's cool.
of making
you said he
an
didn't
album.
have enough time, Mike. Mike, you said he didn't have enough time.
Yeah, no, and I think the process
gets released. If Deep Cover gets released April of 92, and the Dogfather gets released November of 96, you're telling me 4 years isn't enough? With all the classic stuff that they did in between, you're telling me 4 years isn't enough?
I think the 4 years.
We're not fair to
Hold on,
Kendrick.
no. Let me finish. I think the 4 years is slightly off because I think that when you're talking about making an album, because that's what we're critiquing Snoop on, right? That's a whole different process. So I think we would have to start in the album making process of Doggy Style first off, and then other than that, Dre left around 96. So we're talking about maybe 2 years of him seeing an album being put together, because outside of what they did with The Chronic and Doggy Style, what other album was Snoop around for that Dre put together in that time period?
No, Mike. When you're saying, I want you to listen to what you're saying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, other than The Chronic and Doggy Style, what else did he have to go off of? Mike, when has there ever been a rapper that for their sophomore album, think about this, Mike, had already made a classic album for a producer, a classic album for themselves, a classic album for the group he helped put on, and a classic soundtrack? Mike, that all happened before the Dogfather. He was set up for success based on the quality of work and the tutelage like nobody before him, Mike. You're saying...
Oh, you think Dre was in the lab for those?
Mike, let me finish, because I've been letting you say this, but it's like, if The Chronic and the Doggy Style are top 10 albums like we say they are, if Murder Was the Case is what we say it is, if Dog Food by the Dog Pound is what we say it is, oh, you know very much what a great album sounds like. And the Dogfather is no excuses based on that, Mike. And because nobody has ever been witness to that type of greatness walking into a sophomore album. So yes, he should have known better.
That's a lot of pressure too, you know.
I don't give a damn, Mike. Like, if we just gonna kick facts, like, I don't give a damn what the performance look like.
You're not giving the same energy to the Aftermath album. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody had made the dog. Mike, Mike, the Doggy Style and the Chronic are top 10 albums. How many other rappers are walking around with top 10 albums? Nobody was set up for success like that. So
you expect him to make another top 10 album or
I don't expect him to make the worst sophomore album ever for a superstar rapper. Period. No.
Eric, let me get to these super chats. Why are you acting
like it's okay?
Because the situations are very different. It's very different.
Here, man.
The circumstances are different.
Mike in Washington, when he was past his prime, could go get you 20, Mike. The Dogfather's not even 20, and that nigga sure as hell ain't past his prime.
Again, the way that the way that Dr. Dre's production works and having all those pieces involved, and now all those pieces are gone, it is a recipe for disaster. And I think that, again, I love Dr. Dre's traditional production style, but that production style and having all of those ears in the room, to an untrained ear or a young artist, it could be chaotic. He probably tried to duplicate how Dr. Dre arranges things, and it didn't turn out the way it should have.
Right.
Or maybe he just didn't learn anything. How about that? At that point in his career, maybe he just didn't learn anything.
Doggy Style and the Chronic, Deep Cover, Murder Was the Case soundtrack, Dog Food. No, Mike, we talking Above the Rim soundtrack. No, Mike, ain't nobody trying to hear that. He watching like 100. He's literally watching like about 100 to 150 of the best rap songs we've ever heard get made like in a short amount of time. Yeah, he should have known better, Mike.
I want to get back to that. Hold on. Let me get to the super chat.
Everybody else to that standard. Look at it like this, Mike. Ice Cube, straight out of Compton. Easy does it. And then did what, Mike? Mike did what? No, Mike. Off 2 albums without Dre, did what?
Ice Cube's clearly different.
He did Straight Outta Compton. He helped write Easy Does It.
But
it's
Dre,
2 albums, and then what did he do after those 2 Dr. Dre albums? He made America's Most.
He's different.
He made Death Certificate. Boom, sophomore. No.
He's different because Dre didn't train him up.
They're on the same level.
No. Cube is not. No.
Ice Cube level. That's why the dog.
No. Mike. Cube. Y'all let me finish. Cube is not Dre's protege. They all learned together, so that's different. And Snoop came in under Dr. Dre's tutelage. Dr. Dre taught him how to do what he wanted him to do at the time, and when Dre was gone, he clearly didn't know what to do.
Mike, where do you think Ice Cube learned how to put the album together from?
I mean, they learned from each other.
No. He's a rapper, Mike. Like, who you think really taught him how to put an album together?
I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
Mike,
I can only assume.
I would love to interview Ice Cube and ask him because I have a bunch of questions I like to ask him.
I don't know.
He's an integral part of hip hop history, Mike. But I would venture to say, if you don't mind me saying so, that I think that he learned how to put an album together from watching Dre, Yellow, and Easy put together Straight Outta Compton, and Easy Does It.
You don't think he had any input in that?
I think he had more input. I think that his input was more as the writer and the rapper. Because here's why, Mike, listen to what I'm saying. If he had more input and he was really behind the scenes like that, he wouldn't have, left when he found out what he found out. It's very, very clear who was putting stuff together behind the scenes. Projects don't get put together in the studio while the artist is recording. They usually get put together while the artist is gone. Ice Cube was the main artist and the main writer. Easy was the businessman. Dre was the producer. Yellow was the assistant producer. They put those albums together most likely because that's how it usually goes. I ain't never heard of no rapper, especially like a young rapper first coming into the game, that's like literally putting together to the project, and then later complaining about the business side that they don't know. It usually kind of goes hand in hand.
Well, I
don't think he put those projects together. Yes, I think he watched those projects get put together, and it only took Ice Cube watching a couple projects get put together for him to do what he did.
Because they were all coming up together and they were all on the same level. We're still talking about the same Ice Cube that wrote film, so he's a little different than the regular rapper. Eric Terrell with the super chat.
He's not about to do that, Mike. They're both no. Right now,
he is different. When you talk about composing a whole piece,
this is what I'm saying, Mike. No, right now, Ice Cube is number 3 and Snoop is 8. They're not that fucking different.
As far as putting together projects in those ways, and you're talking about who probably was the chief, I guess, who taught him how to put together albums. I don't know if I could say that because this man puts together films.
Somebody get me Ice Cube. We're on a roll. We done got Glove. We done got Hit Boy. Somebody get me Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube will tell the truth. Ice Cube probably taught Dre how to put together albums.
Eric Terrell with the super chat. This some bullshit you kicking, Mike.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, explain how Snoop is bigger than LL. Come on.
I'm about to pull up some Easy interviews and find out how Straight Outta Compton and Easy Does It got made because it wasn't Ice Cube in my opinion. That's what I fucking know.
I don't know. Jay Short with the super chat says, Devil's Advocate, do you see Snoop being attached to Death Row and perceived to be a part of the East/West Coast beef as an argument against him? I mean, you can say the same thing about Tupac and Big, right? They in there. Are they trying to wait until Snoop is no longer here to put him in there or something?
I don't like how you just try to make it seem like this Dogfather shit is okay. It's bad.
I mean, he recovered from it. It'd be different if Dogfather got put out and he never really became Snoop Dogg again. But damn, you can't put out an album and recover from it?
Took a while, Mike.
He did. He's still here. They needed him for 2001. It's 2001.
Arguing for him to be in the top 10.
It's 2001. That same album and impactful without Snoop's contributions. It's not.
How about this, Mike? See, when you say that, it's like, well, I don't, Mike, there's so many what ifs. It's like, because really in Dr. Dre's case, well, Snoop is really here because, Ice Cube left and the DOC lost his voice and he fell out with Easy. There was no plans on Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that fell in his lap, just like Tom Brady. It's a big one that fell in his lap. But you know what? If you add, like, who do you think, as a listener, is the most important piece to Dr. Dre on 2001? Take yourself back to 1999, the whole rollout.
Mike, that's the thing. Okay, so here's how I feel about 2001. I don't love 2001 like y'all. Like, if I was ranking his albums that he executive produced, 2001 for me might be 5.
Do you think it's an important album?
I do.
Okay.
It's hard to say that 2001 is not an important album. It very much is. I have the album on instrumental on vinyl somewhere.
Yeah. It's very important.
I don't know where. Like, I'm going to find it one day. It's around here somewhere.
I mean, it opened the doors for Aftermath, to be perfectly honest. And
saying that when they had platinum plaques on the wall.
And, you know, M's triple platinum doing 50 a week, you know. But again,
Firm did 1.5, Aftermath did platinum. So it's like before 2001 got made, there's 3 platinum albums sitting on the wall.
The numbers are the numbers, and the numbers are great. But somebody said in the chat earlier, numbers and impact don't always, you know, correlate. And I think that the impact and numbers that 2001 gives you, I think that whole staff, that whole chamber, that whole crew would acknowledge how important that album was for the future of Aftermath. Because even with those other albums, I don't think Aftermath had a culture until 2001 hit. 2001 set the culture for Aftermath Entertainment.
I feel you as far as, culture setter, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a culture setter? Yes. But viable organization before then is what I'm saying. So is that Aftermath's first championship ring? Yes.
Yeah. It was still finding its way. It was putting together things, but I think that, it set the culture for what Aftermath is going to be moving forward. And you need Snoop Dogg for that. He's a very integral piece.
I'm taking a quick note on who really put together Straight Outta Compton and Easy Does It, because I don't want to forget, because I'm about to dig. And I'm going to pull up on Friday, Mike. And it's going to be all bad for you, because you and I know. You and I know, Mike.
Leroy Green with the super chat says, Coop, The Dogfather was Snoop's Doctor's Advocate, the album where you fall out with the label owner and he kicks you out and says, record with nothing.
Now, Mike, I don't know why Leroy said that. The Doctor's Advocate is 50 times better than The Dogfather.
I don't think he was comparing quality. I think he was just saying the concept. I don't give a damn
what he's comparing. Let's compare this. When the game was left without Dr. Dre after one album, what did he do?
Yeah. But you know what?
So if
can I say something? I want to answer that. I want to answer that. I want to answer that.
What part of this are we not understanding about what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying the evidence everybody keep making me look right. It's like,
I want to respond to what you said. Can I respond to what you just said? Because Game has said it out of his... No. Game has said it out of his own mouth that Dr. Dre has never made a beat for him. So... Game didn't have the type of tutelage from Dre that Snoop did. I think Snoop was kind of Dr. Dre dependent in a way where Game... Let me finish. Can I finish? Snoop was Dr. Dre dependent in a way that Game wasn't, because Dr. Dre didn't really work with Game like that. Game said that himself. He said when he said that about Kanye doing more for him in a week than Dre's done over his career, that's what he was talking about. So, yes, he was able to make Doctor's Advocate because he really didn't work with Dre like that anyway, where Snoop actually did. And when Dre was gone, Snoop really didn't know what to do. It's different.
I'm going to tell you what, Mike. You keep on making excuses for Snoop. I feel like we got a much better chance of talking to the game than talking to Ice Cube, probably. Reach out to the game. Bullshit.
I sound like you talking about KD defending Snoop over here.
I'm not defending KD. I told you that they're in trouble and it's a problem and he needs to shoot more.
You make every excuse in the world for KD.
No, I'm not. No. They're in trouble. No, Mike. I said Jokic is playing like the MVP. I said they're in trouble. And I said in order for them to even take this to a game 7, he's going to have to play that he played the way he played in the Milwaukee series, and Booker's going to have to show up. That doesn't sound like I'm taking up for him.
You still believe they're going to win it in 7?
No. I said, Mike, I'm going to say this again. They're in trouble.
Okay.
And in order for this to even go 7, as in we don't even need to have them winning in 7 conversation, because in order for this to go 7, that needs to happen first. As in, when I say they're in trouble, that means this shit is over unless these 2 things happen.
He's got to shoot more.
That's not taken up. Like, unless he starts going for 40 to 50 every game, and Booker keeps hitting at the clip that he's hitting, this is over. We don't need to talk about it. Game 7. Over.
John Phillips with a super chat says, just heard Jack Harlow's new shit. It's actually fire. 100.
We tried to tell you. People try to pull up on us and say that we was hating. Talking about, look, first we hating and now we're overrating. You're overrating the project.
Yeah, I saw people saying that. I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due. If I were to sit here and say that project was no good, then I'd be a hater.
But you want to know what? If you said the project was no good, then the same people that said we overrating it would pull up on us, be like, "Oh man, it ain't that bad. It's actually pretty good. It's got some joints on it I like."
Like y'all hating on Harlow. Melvin Wright with the super chat says, "Pay the cost was suspect bars like there is because it is what it is. Top Dog and Last Meal put him back on, and that's when Dre came back.
You're talking about singles. You're not talking about albums. You're talking about singles, not albums. I'm sorry, respectfully.
I mean, I think I'm gonna say it like this though. I think Dre and Snoop, at least in the '90s, they needed each other. Snoop has found a way to navigate outside of Dr. Dre and make some dope music. I think Snoop kind of really connected with like the Bay type of sound, that Cali sound, that Rick Rock sound. And I think once he really embraced that and knew that, you know what, I can't depend on Dre like that anymore, Snoop started making better music. I think that there was a point where there was a cloud over Snoop's head where he was like, man, I need Dre. I think he probably had that in his head that he needed Dre. He couldn't make music without Dre, really. You know what I'm saying? And I think once he got past that, he's been able to make some dope music. I love the record with him, Superfly, Selly Cell.
Listen to what you just said. No other all-time great rapper has suffered that type of fate.
I think with them being, but also in my book though, Coop, they are the #1 producer and rapper combo. So it's not a regular partnership.
Oh no, they #1. If I hear Dre and Snoop on a record, I'm running to that.
They're
record.
#1. So
skipping your record. Fuck your team. Fuck your combo. Fuck your 2-man.
Because the rapper's going to suffer the most from that. The rapper's going to suffer the most from that. Let's look at Gangstar, right? I think a lot of people kind of slept on a lot of Guru's Jasmine Taz work because Primo wasn't there. Now, Primo can go, shit, I'll make a beat for Big, I'll make a beat for Jay, I'll make a beat for Nas. The producers can go on because they can find great artists to run with. But the rapper is the one that suffers when they've been in a group with a great producer. Look at CL Smooth. You know what I'm saying? Pete Rock's able to go do whatever he's doing.
See, here's what's the problem with what you're talking about, and I get what you're saying. Now, all due respect to CL Smooth, all due respect to Guru, rest in peace. You know how I feel about Gangstar.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Rock and DJ Premier, although they're top 10 producers. CL Smooth and Guru are not top 10 MCs, Mike. Dr. Dre is a top 10 producer. You know what Snoop is, Mike? Top 10 MC. And so the shit different. And so I don't want to hear that shit.
But Snoop proved that.
The reality of the matter is that Jasmine Taz Volume 1 and 2 is better than the Dogfather 2. Don't want to hear that.
No, it is.
But top 10 caliber MC. Guru and CL Smooth are not, respectfully.
But what you're talking about is based on the fact that Snoop was actually able to recover. If Snoop wasn't able to recover from the Dogfather and the No Limit years, we wouldn't have him so high. So we need to actually give him props. Yeah, we give him props because he did recover. You know what I mean?
No, this is what I mean. Okay, and people need to understand this. It's like, this is what I mean about Snoop's like top 10 MC. It's like, you're like, well, CL Smooth, they reminisce over you. So we know that it's there. It's a top 5 rap song. It's like, yes, Guru mass appeal. You know what I'm saying? It's up there as
Moment
all
of
time.
truth.
And author of the Moment of Truth
Great
album, which I
mic
do
work
think
on there.
no, some of the best mic work ever that I've heard on one album, and a top 20 rap album. This is what I'm saying. This is where shit get different. This is what I'm saying. Top 10. It's like, oh, CL Smooth got they Reminisce Over You. That's cool. Snoop got nothing but a G thing. He got What's My Name. He got Gin and Juice. He got Drop It Like It's Hot. He's got beauty. You see the difference?
But see, Coop, I don't know how this turned.
This is what I'm trying
You're
to say.
changing the conversation.
You know a motherfucker's level when you hear it. At no point that we ever heard CL Smooth and Guru did we think this motherfucker could be the greatest MC of all time. No, the talk was like that about Snoop, and rightfully so. And about that type of talk, you don't get no pass. Because we don't get no passes around here.
I'm clearly not comparing CL Smooth.
You be riding J ass for less, Mike.
I'm clearly not comparing Snoop and CL Smooth and all of that, right? All I'm saying is any MC that's paired up with a top 10 producer, the producer is going to be able to move on quicker than the MC will. The MC will suffer from not having that person's production.
You're not hearing me, Mike.
You're not hearing me. I'm not comparing anything.
Mike, the only top 10 pairing of an MC and a producer really, like succinctly, like specifically and consistently is Dre and Snoop. You're not listening.
I understand what you're saying, but that's not the topic. The topic is if a pairing is there.
Different standard.
If a pairing is there, Coop, when that MC moves on, they're going to have to find a top 10 producer. A producer doesn't have to go far to actually find a dope MC to give beats to. That's all I'm saying. It's easier for in that pairing for the producer to move on and make greatness. It's easier than it is for the rapper to do so. Like I said, and I want to give props to Ice Cube. It was easier for Cube because he left Dre before Dre really found his sound, and he went to the people that Dre got his sound from. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you, and that's fair. But also understand it's not fair to be a top 10 MC talent and make 3 subpar albums in a row, starting with the Dogfather.
I mean, even Rakim, man, it was tough when he got out of his pair.
Not 3 in a row and not the Dogfather. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what's after Long Live the King? Like Prince of Darkness, that bullshit?
I like Top Dog. I think you're being unfair to Top Dog.
First of all, Top Dog ain't first of all, there's the Dogfather, and then there's, what's the other one? Before Top Dog.
Pay the cost to be the boss. I'm sorry, the game is to be sold. The game is to be sold.
The game is to be sold, not to be told. Okay, so first of all, the Dogfather,
I actually like some
told and not to be told. No. Nobody has a 2 and 3 album drop like that, Mike. Kane don't have that. Ray don't have that with Immobilarity. Like, Immobilarity is better than the Dogfather. It's got Live from New York and Sneakers on it. I must say that again. Show me the records on the Dogfather that's messing with Live from New York and Sneakers.
I got Pay the Cost to be. I'm sorry. I got The Game is to be sold over Immobilarity though.
That's the 3rd album, though. What's Ray's 3rd album look like, though?
What is Ray's 3rd album? AB Studio with the super chat says Dr. Dre was free from Eazy-E and Ruthless Records. He had to start again. He had no furniture. Then he discovered Snoop. The inspiration of The Chronic changed Dre's life. He would not be here without Snoop. What say you to that? Because I'm inclined to believe that to some degree.
Death Row Records literally got started about a man's production, not a man's rhymes. Stop playing with me. End of story, Mike. End of story. If you need any more evidence, go ask anybody that was there and involved. Death Row Records, the central focus of starting Death Row Records was based on the production of Andre Young. Would you like me to hit Glove up and get some confirmation? I can hit Glove up. Glove be in my inbox on the gram.
I think we all know that Dr. Dre is the most.
Stop playing with me.
I think we all know Dr. Dre is the most important piece to Death Row Records. Period. Who do you think is the second?
How did I go from questioning some of the things that Dr. Dre did to the point that I wanted to reach out with his main co-collaborator and his first main co-collaborator to defending Snoop to being here trying to explain to y'all who the fuck really started Death Row.
Oh, no. I don't think that's any.
I literally asked Glove a question where I say, so the DOC and Dre actually had stake in Death Row to start. Hell up, message.
Oh, definitely. No. I think that's irrefutable.
What are we doing?
I already said that. But who do you think is the second most important piece to Death Row Records? Because clearly it was centered around Dr. Dre and his production.
And Snoop, you know what Snoop is? Snoop isn't the reason. Snoop is the tipping point. Like, you know where the trend starts happening? Like, it's already going on. Like, it's already, like, people forget, before stuff hits you, it's already in motion. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like when Snoop dropped Deep Cover, it's like, oh no, Doggy Style's in motion from the point that, like, Deep Cover gets that type of reaction. You understand what I'm saying? That's in motion. It's about what you see it and when you see it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like Dre's that dude, and nobody's saying that Snoop's not like right-hand man and even sometimes co-captain of the ship. But Mike, Suge wanted Dre. Snoop wasn't even a thought at this time.
Well, I think one of the things too,
like when Suge is seeing what he's seeing the DOC and Dre. Snoop's nowhere in sight, Mike.
Well, he also knows that not Snoop. He also knows that Dre can find talent and can cultivate talent. Where did Coop go? Jay Short with the super chat says, every time Snoop gets in the West Coast bag without Dre, people say that it's mid because most fans are biased against West Coast production. Unfair standard. I agree with that, Jay Short. I think Snoop made a whole lot of quality stuff, but because Dre's name's not on it, people make it seem like it's mid. Like, Snoop makes some real West Coast shit. And when he's on his real West Coast shit, that should be working. I mean, I like it, but I'm going to get big West Coast fan, by the way. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, Jazzy Jeff just recapped on the gram a convo with Quincy Jones. The difference between just a beat maker and a producer. Many know how to make beats, but don't know how to create a great song or album. That's true. I did see that. I think somebody sent it to us. I don't know if Jazzy Jeff just had this conversation or it's something that he put out a while back. Coop, you there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. You just went out. I thought you might have pressed the button or something.
No, I didn't hit nothing. It just went out.
Oh, really?
Are we still on, right?
Yeah, we still on. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, Jazzy Jeff just recapped on the gram a conversation with Quincy Jones. The difference between just a beat maker and a producer. Many know how to make beats, but don't know how to create great songs / albums. Somebody actually sent that to our inbox. I don't know if Jazzy Jeff just put that out or if that was something that somebody found or whatever. But we were just talking about that on Monday. What Jazzy Jeff said was his conversation with Quincy Jones went like, Quincy told him was like, if a person, all right, let's just say somebody's there, right? And there's a bunch of puzzle pieces there. And they tell this one person to put this piece here. Tell another person to put this piece here. And another person put this piece here. And the puzzle gets put together. Who put together the puzzle?
No, I hear you. So this is what I mean. So this is what I'm saying. So I don't think a lot of people understand this sometimes. In order to execute a game plan, no matter what it is, you need leadership. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, the most overlooked thing in leadership is delegation, Mike.
You're right.
I'm going to give you an example of what not delegating properly will lead to in a political arena, and this is going to surprise you. People think George W. Bush was a bad president, and he was, but it was because his delegation was poor. Because when faced with a crisis, instead of finding new, innovative ways to bite the new nature of the threat, he went and called on his father's homies, who quite frankly were as old as his father and in some cases older, with old ideas and old ways. And they tried to bring those old ideas and old ways into modern time, and he got slaughtered, Mike. And he got slaughtered to the point that for the first time, this racist-ass country actually became a breeding ground for a black man to become president potentially based on the poor job they felt like this white man did. And he really didn't do a poor job. He just did a poor job in delegation because, quite frankly, he did what a lot of white men who are wealthy and come from privilege come from. He called daddy and daddy's friends in a time of fucking need. It's about how you delegate in the moment of truth. And nobody in the moment of truth delegates like Dr. Dre in hip hop.
Yeah.
Period.
He got a system, man.
He got a system, and his system got San Antonio, LA, Boston, Golden State type of system. Yeah.
Well, Jay Short said something while you were offline, and I agree with him. He says, without Dre, Snoop gets into his West Coast bag, and he does some things that are really, grassroots to the West Coast. But because of who he is, people deem it as a drop off, and it's like they correlate his sound with Dr. Dre in that sense. And I think that's a fair point because when Snoop's on his West Coast bag, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they may not be the big records that, him and Dre make together, but I don't think it's whack. Esquire with the super chat says, Coop's point about the Dogfather and Snoop without Dre are valid. All the more reason that he isn't 10. Who else in the top 10 is reliant on production?
Mike,
I think that's interesting.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that's interesting. He said, who else in the top 10 is relying on production? I mean,
that's what I was trying to say. That's why I was arguing for him to be in the top 10, but I see why people keep him out of the top 10. I would like to read the production credits to the Dogfather since people think that he popped up and left the West Coast. He didn't, Mike. It's an all West Coast album. The intro, DJ Pooh. Dogfather featuring Charlie Wilson, Daz. Up Jump the Boogie, DJ Pooh. Freestyle Conversation, Superfly, When I Grow Up, DJ Pooh, Snoop Bounce, DJ Pooh, Gold Rush, Kim and Flair, Tear 'Em Off, LT Hutton, You Thought, Superfly, Vapors, DJ Pooh, Groupie, Daz, 2001, DJ Pooh, 2001.
2001, so that's interesting.
That is interesting. No, Mike, 6 minutes, Kim and Flair, OJ, Wake Up featuring Trey D, Snoop Dogg, LT Hutton, Snoop's Upside Your Head, DJ Pooh, Blueberry, Sam Snead from Pittsburgh. Doggyland, DJ Pooh, Downtown Assassins, Daz, Outro, featuring Machiavelli, Snoop, Doggy, Dog. Mike, that's all West Coast except for Sam Snead.
DJ Pooh did a lot. And DJ Pooh did a lot. Yeah. The DJ Pooh did a lot on.
Pooh and Daz handled this whole project, Mike.
DJ Pooh did a lot on Death Certificate too, I thought, right?
So don't tell me. So hold on. Let me get this straight. The last West Coast nigga to make a classic album, he went to that producer when he didn't have Dre. He had Daz, who would just help him make his classic and the dog and dog food, and he went to Superfly on top. No, Mike. He picked bad beats. You gonna tell me you got a problem with Pooh, Superfly, and Daz's production, or did he pick bad beats?
I think
West Coast niggas.
I think
Let's
for what
making excuses.
I think for what you're saying, and if you look at this situation, right, and you look at it as a project manager, right, I think Snoop would be the one to blame here because he is the big artist. He is the person that obviously made the production choices, and I wouldn't expect any of those producers to really just start telling him what to do, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that they're basically giving him whatever he wants. He's Snoop Dogg at this point. So yeah, if there is somebody to really say that maybe they could have done more, it was Daz, because Daz was a part of the culture too. And maybe him and Daz should have, did some more building because, they did put together Doggy Style allegedly, but Daz did walk back on that. Daz said that he made a statement saying that Dr. Dre produced Doggy Style, not him, and Dr. Dre's the GOAT. So
I'm going to go listen to the Dogfather again, Mike.
I'm going to go listen to it again, too. 36 Chambers says, Mike is inclined to believe anything that paints Dr. Dre in a not-so-friendly light. Snoop is legendary, but his legacy is only 90s and early 2000s. What is Dre's legacy then? Okay, never mind. Listen, I want to say this too. I think Dre is I think that he could be hip hop's greatest producer from end to end, and I don't want anything that I've said to be misconstrued. I'm trying to be balanced here, and I'm trying to give the same energy to all parties involved that we give to people who may have ghostwriters or people who may have help on other things or people that might have other people in the room. I'm just trying to bring forth these same arguments because it seems like when it comes to Dre, anything goes and that's fine, but we don't do the same thing with Puffy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to balance things out. I'm playing devil's advocate, if you will.
No, I get that.
Because I'm clearly a Dr. Dre fan.
No, I get that.
Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop, I was in high school during those years. I don't care what they say. Snoop was what sold the Chronic, not Dre. We already messed with that Parliament Zap influence type of production out here. So Snoop was
that's easy for you to say when this man is walking around with 4 platinum albums before the Chronic ever gets made. So it's like you keep thinking that if you want to. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna let cats think what they want to think. It's like, no, he walking around with some platinum and double platinum plaques and gold singles long before the Chronic gets made, Mike.
What's Dr. Dre's legacy, you think? You think Dr. Dre's legacy is G-Funk, or you think, it's the Straight Outta Compton production?
I mean, see, this is what I mean. He's had a couple different phases. As a groundbreaker and as an innovator, his legend starts with NWA and Straight Outta Compton and Niggas for Life, Mike. Like, there's no jumping over that. I think the legend of him as a producer, the beat maker, really starts taking flight around the DOC's album. I think what you see with the Chronic and Doggy Style is the mastery of what's coming, but there's already classic material to go around before then. And like I said, like by the time 2001 and, Get Rich or Die Trying, a documentary would be made, like he's in mastery mode. Like he's somewhere, like people have to understand when the Chronic 2001 is getting made, Mike, nobody's even been viable as a producer this long that even has a buzz.
No, I agree with that. I think the longevity is incredible.
Like, nobody's even viable in terms of their buzz.
Because the producers that were producing in the 80s are gone.
Put some respect on some Dre's name and understand that 2001 had a buzz, and a lot of that shit was Dre.
It was, but I think a lot of it...
Dr. Dre at that point. Because, Mike, in 1999, now Straight Outta Compton is over a decade old. Niggas for Life is almost 10 years old. The Chronic is set. The Chronic and Doggy Style have set for over 5 years now, and very few albums that have come along are even worth mentioning in the same breath of those albums when 2001's getting made. Like, in between Doggy Style and 2001, Mike, the only albums that you could probably say are better is Illmatic and Aquemini, Mike.
Can I add a retort here? And
Illmatic and Aquemini.
I would like to add a retort here. I think that we all know, obviously in retrospect, that Dr. Dre produced, Easy Does It, Straight Outta Compton, Niggas for Life. No one could do it better. But I feel like when it comes to the NWA stuff specifically, I think those are shared legacies between Easy, Dr. Dre, and Coop, respectfully, right? We know his involvement, people who follow the liner notes, but Dr. Dre really came to the forefront as an artist and as a figure with the Chronic. And I think for a lot of people, in the mainstream who hold him very high, that's the identity that they attach him with him and Snoop. That's why when he came back on 2001 and 99, when he was on MTV, when he was performing, Snoop was right there. Like when they were recapping his legacy, it was Dr. Dre and Snoop. We just saw it a couple of years ago with the Super Bowl halftime show. They didn't just do the Dr. Dre Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes, they did. That's exactly what I was about to tell you.
But they marketed it as where Snoop was right there with them. They were doing photo shoots. All the interviews was Dre and Snoop. Snoop was there. Like, it's a pairing.
It's not. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it's
when it comes to Dre making music, Snoop has to be there. When Dre's in front as an artist and as an individual, Snoop has to be there. Now, if he's a producer,
Say that again.
producing for
Okay,
others.
so that's the part that you're failing to understand. See, when you want to pitch Dr. Dre the artist, yeah, Snoop has to be right there.
Yeah.
Because the attachment to Dr. Dre the artist is attached to the Chronic and to the Chronic 2001. And the co-pilot of the ship is clearly Snoop Dogg on both of the ships.
Correct.
I'm not taking any of that away from Snoop. You understand? You're talking about Dr. Dre the artist. The producer, Mike. That's what I'm trying to say. You're talking about Dr. Dre the artist. I'm talking about Dr. Dre the producer. They highlight Dr. Dre and Snoop because the best music that Dre has made that people know is with Snoop. I'm not taking that away. But that's Dr. Dre's halftime show. Because every artist that stepped to that stage, you know what they all had in common? Only thing they had in common was Dr. Dre, Mike. And it's not an accident because Dr. Dre the producer, he that nigga.
Of course.
Listen to what I'm saying. No. In a way that Snoop is not as an artist without him.
Of course. No. But Snoop's very important, though.
And that's why he's at number 8 right now and probably going to end up at about 12. Top 15 to 20 MC. But when we talking about, this is what I mean about there's levels. It's like, well, Snoop's at number 8, Mike. Snoop's probably not getting higher than 8 on this list. It's like when we talking Dre, it's like you better not put Dre below 3 unless you have some common sense.
And with that being said, Snoop needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. There's no excuse for this man not ever being on the ballot and Eminem being inducted, who is one of Dr. Dre's proteges as well, and Missy Elliott now being inducted, and we haven't gotten Snoop Dogg even on the ballot. That's inexcusable. He's done too much.
Everything that I just said, Mike, I totally agree with you. Snoop Dogg deserves to be in because here's the thing. If Dr. Dre is the greatest producer of all time and as an artist, his 2 projects are what he's most notarized for as a producer. No, Snoop's the co-pilot on what he's most notarized for even as a producer.
Yeah.
That's the Chronic, Doggy Style in 2001. That's why I said Snoop needs to be higher.
Mm-hmm. 36 Chambers with the super chat says,
Dre shit without Snoop is so glorious, Mike. Like, if Snoop does not show up, this man is still... You understand? Okay, so how about this? You take the Chronic and Doggy Style in 2001 off the board, he's still a top 10 producer.
What does he perform at... definitely. What does he perform at the Super Bowl halftime without Snoop's existence?
Express Yourself, Keep Their Heads Ringing.
Not good enough. I'm sorry. I don't...
You say that, Mike, like you say that, but California you're saying that based on what you got. You know what I'm saying? I hate to be the one to bring it to you. It's like Express Yourself is like almost bigger than every Ice Cube record that ever got made except for Good Day.
I never liked Express Yourself or
I can tell, Mike. I don't know why you tripping on Express Yourself. Like, Mike, that's like when we talk about rap's greatest 50 songs, it's like you understand that it's like that might not make the 50, but that's one of the songs in the conversation, right?
Yeah, I just personally never really loved the record. I mean, the NWA I like is the Straight Outta Compton NWA. You know what I'm saying? Like, Express Yourself was kind of corny. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it was kind of hokey. It was.
Dre's the clean guy in the crew. It's fucking Easy and Cube. Like, Dre's the clean guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer the, Niggas Don't Die or,
right.
Or the,
what about the bitch you got shot?
Always into something.
You gotta give a damn about a bitch. I ain't a sucker. That's the shit that you
like. That's
right.
the stuff I like.
Right.
I like the vicious NWA. I don't really love the Express Yourself NWA. But, it's just my personal preference. 36 Chambers with a super chat says, the problem with Snoop is his West Coast bag is that it doesn't match the quality level that we come to expect from his other top 10 contemporaries over time. In that sense, it is a bit of a fall off. And I do agree. I think that his West Coast bag is more of a local thing. But I think that's him just tapping into what, the West Coast does. And he does that very well. KC1 with the super chat says, I got to put your credibility in question after you moved Cube down in Jay-Z. Did Jay-Z ever recover from Ether musically?
Yes.
I think he did. He made the Black Album.
He made the Black Album.
Yeah.
Hello, he made the Black Album.
And then he made American Gangsta after that.
Well, this is why I made the move, because, like, specifically, since you want to question my credibility, it's like, well, The Bitch and You came out in 1997. Show me the classic Ice Cube post 1997, because I can show you some classic Jay post Ether, and that's why I flipped.
That does play into your argument. Jay Short with the super chat says
that is the argument. There ain't no play. That's the argument. It's like
no, that plays right into what you said last episode. Yeah, it does.
Both niggas got bodied. How you handle catching a body?
I think Jay-Z handled Ether better than anybody's ever handled a diss record.
Well, nobody ever got dissed like that while they were at their peak either, Mike. That's what I mean, because this is what I mean about Jay responding. Jay was at his peak when this happened.
I give Jay a lot of props for his recovery on that one.
Me
it was
too.
Incredible. I mean,
and
I talk how I speak
shit after the bitch in you. I love Q.
I speak highly of his mic performance on the Blueprint 2. The way he recovered immediately on the Blueprint 2,
lyrically,
very
that's
impressive.
What I'm saying, Mike. No, lyrically, he recovered on the Blueprint 2, and album-wise, he recovered on the Black Album. Go look at Ice Cube shit after the bitch and you and tell me that we're wrong, because there's a drop-off in quality after that, and we're splitting hairs. What do you think you're supposed to do when you're talking about like somebody
two of the greatest
all time?
What I liked about the Blueprint 2 was we talked about it, I think last week. You could tell Jay kind of got lazy on the mic, Volume 2, Volume 3, even some points on the Dynasty. But he got hungry again after Ether, and I love hearing Jay rap his ass off on the Blueprint 2. So that's why I personally like the Blueprint 2. Obviously, it has its skippable moments. It has some of his worst songs. The record with Sean, I think the record with Sean Paul is probably his worst song. I think that So Many Hoes in Here with Timbaland's a terrible record. But it also has mic performances like Hobie Baby on it. Has mic performances like Some People Hate It. Like, this guy was going in.
The Watcher.
Yeah, The Watcher. I mean, he got hungry again, and I respect that. And that's how you want to hear your greats respond to adversity. And he did that.
And it's nothing personal against Q, but it's like, here's the reality of the matter. It's like, well, you want to know what? We'll do Jay versus Ice Cube again. You know what I'm saying? Just so people will understand. Okay. But it's like, understand, like, when
we've done close, this 3 times now.
Right. This is what I mean about when it's close. Okay. So for me personally, Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. And Magic has always been number 2. And I'll tell you part of the reason why my logic for Magic has been, how many years did Magic play? And how many years did Magic go to the finals? And how many rings did Magic win?
Yeah.
People acting like Magic. You would think Magic played like 17 years for how many finals. Like, when you look at Magic's numbers, you would think Magic played 17 years. It's like, no. This motherfucker actually played about 12 NBA seasons.
It's crazy.
In 12 NBA seasons, he went to 9 NBA finals.
It's crazy.
He won 5 of them. He lost 4 of them. The people that he lost to, Mike, he lost everybody he lost to is a top 20 player. He lost to Moses Malone and Dr. J, 2 top 20 players. He lost to Larry Bird. He lost to Michael Jordan. He lost to Isaiah Thomas. It's like everybody he lost to top 20.
You're right. No, that's fair.
Yeah, he lost to top 20 players. Like, when he lost to a top 20 player at his best. In 2 specific occasions, with Bird and Jordan, he lost to 2 top 10 players at their best. And in Isaiah and Dr. J and Moses Malone cases, he lost to 3 other top 20 players at their best. He was always number 2 to me, Mike. But
9 finals in 12 years? That's crazy.
9 finals in 12 years, Mike.
That's crazy. Jay Short with the super chat says, even if you got a lot of players, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're seeing what...
Even if you got players, that's absurd,
crazy.
Mike. And look, and understand, was almost about to make it 10, but Houston interrupted. He actually should have went to 10. The Houston Hakeem Ralph Sampson team, they upset them. People didn't think that they were going to beat them. They messed up the Lakers Celtics consecutive rivalry.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, so Redman makes Malpractice and Ray makes Lex Diamonds, and it's cool, but Snoop calls Rick Rock or Michi Wells, and it's a drop of his status. It's a good point. I love Jay Short over here representing for the West Coast.
I like that he did that too. First of all, Malpractice isn't a bad album, and neither is Alex Diamond Story. They're both of those albums are better than Snoop's second. Both of those albums are better than fucking Paid the Cost to... Oh, hold on. Not Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. What?
The Game Is to Be Sold?
Well, Not to Be Told. Yes, they are.
And I like The Game Is to Be Sold.
I like representing, though. You know what I'm saying? Represent for your coast.
I think you need to go back and listen to The Game Is to Be Sold. Like, I went back and listened to Snoop's No Limit albums. They're not as bad as I once remembered, to be honest.
They're not good enough to be remembered, though, or we would be playing the records off of them. And he would play them at his shows. There's a reason, Mike, that I've seen him live 2 times, post the No Limit records, and I don't really hear him play those No Limit records at his shows.
He
Why
didn't do
Snoop don't
Bitch
do those
Please?
records if they so fire?
He didn't do Bitch Please?
Like I said, he really don't do those records. As in Bitch Please and Lay Low get performed.
I liked
No
Still
Limit
a G
records
Thing.
don't get performed.
Still a G Thing was my joint.
Still a G Thing's pretty hard. I like the beat the Still a G Thing. That shit knocking.
Yeah, top dollar with the gold fleet collar,
Fleet
dipping in my blue Apollo.
PG.
That's all fire.
Yeah, I remember that. No, that shit hard. It's not enough.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, who was more impressive lyrically in 1996, Jay-Z or Black Thought? I got Jay-Z. I got Jay-Z too.
Jay-Z barely. But let me finish this thought. So I always had Magic at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't have Magic at number 2 when LeBron is the all-time scoring leader now, Mike.
Yeah.
And he's been to 10 finals, even though it's been 20 years. No. It's 10 finals, 4 rings.
Still incredible.
4 regular season MVP. So he got 1 more regular season MVP than Magic. He got 2 more finals MVPs than Magic. He's on the top 10 assist list with Magic. He's the all-time leading scorer. It's like, I love Magic. Slide your ass down to number 3 because we splitting hairs. It's like, no.
Hold on.
Ice Cube did with...
I think he's top 5, Coop, in assists.
Is he top 5?
I think he is.
Magic was getting his ass slid down anyway there.
Yeah.
But you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like, if I'm going to split hairs, it's like, do I prefer Magic to LeBron? Yeah. Would I pick Magic over LeBron? Yeah. But it's like, we splitting hairs and we being honest. It's like, nope.
Speaking of
slide
assists.
down, fam. That's too much.
Speaking of assists, man.
What Jay did after Ether is literally 10 times better than what Ice Cube did after The Bitch and You. If one guy's sitting at number 2, another guy's sitting at number 3, Mike.
I think that's fair. Speaking of assists, man, ain't nobody catching John Stockton, ever. It's never happened.
And it's sad that he's not a top 5 point guard, even though he's the all-time assist leader.
I think he is, man. It's hard to say he's not, but yeah.
We're going to have this combo guard conversation. Mike, when we doing this station head, when you going to take this L, Mike?
When should we do
We're doing the station head.
Monday I'm supposed to do this rap roundtable thing, so I guess not then.
Hey, Mike, you got to represent for according to hip hop. You got to represent for the culture.
Yeah. I have a strategy.
Don't let them do no like coming to America shit like you Prince Hakeem from Zamunda or some shit. Don't leave your luggage outside. Okay?
You gonna take my lunch.
Don't take the apartment with the body and the chalk on it, Mike. Don't fall for any New York tricks.
I know all the New York tricks. AB Studios with the super chat says, anybody ever seen Dr. Dre lay the drums? There's no pic and video of him beat making. Only one famous pic of him sitting in front of a SSL board. Ask Scott Storch, Mike Elizondo, and Mailman. LOL.
I'm aware of who they are.
Well, yeah.
I'm the one that started talking to y'all about Elizondo and Mailman.
You did a whole segment on Elizondo.
And Glove. Right, how you think Glove pulled up on the show? I'm the one that started talking to y'all about this shit. Don't do this shit like backwards like y'all fed me information.
Shout out to Elizondo, man. In the Club is a banger. T Nitty with the super chat says, have y'all heard the the Drasmatic Play It By Ear EP yet? He got crazy tracks with Young Z from The Outsiders. Love y'all show. Salute to you as well, T Nitty. I think this is the second time we've been told to listen to Drasmatic. We got to check that out.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in the notes. I was actually gonna tell people, it's like I found myself today, Mike, digging for music. Like, because I'm like, where's the music? Like, are we missing something? Like, Mike, did you listen to the Royce finally?
I have listened to the Royce. I didn't like it.
I wasn't that big on it either.
It sounded very...
I wanted to know... Go ahead. I wanted to know how you felt, Mike, because the first couple of tracks seemed Eminem-inspired production and flow-wise. I was like, Mike about to hate this shit and hate on it. You didn't like it, did you?
I didn't like it.
You heard Royce adopt the M flow, though. Did you hear Royce with the M flow?
Yep, I heard him with that. It sounded very, what's dude's name, man? Shit, I'm tripping. Light-skinned dude that rhymes with Eminem. You know what I'm talking about.
Light-skinned dude that rhymes with Eminem?
He made the Will Smith song.
Nas?
No. No, it's a song called Will Smith. Hold on.
Oh, the Will Smith song. Yeah. Oh, Jordan Lucas.
Yeah, Jordan Lucas. It sounded very Jordan Lucas-like to me.
The album?
That Royce album, yeah. I mean, as far as like how he put things together, it reminded me of Jordan Lucas. Jay Short with the
Royce
super
the
chat
5'9"
says,
reminded you of Joyner Lucas.
well,
You be saying some shady shit up in the
vice
middle.
versa, or whatever, you know. Jay Short with the super chat says, fans be treating Snoop and Doggy Style like Nas with Illmatic and DJ Premier. They won't let him move forward no matter what.
No, I told you. Hold on. Let's not get it twisted. Oh, Rhythm and Gangster and Blue Carpet Treatment's some fire. Blue Carpet Treatment's a borderline classic to me. Like, I wish he would have edited that album a little bit more because I feel like there's a classic laying inside of the Blue Carpet Treatment. Rhythm and Gangsta? Oh, no. Can I get a flick with you? Ups and downs?
I love Rhythm and Gangsta.
Drop it like it's hot? Oh, no. Those two albums, we ain't talking about those two albums. We talking about the albums before those albums, after Doggy Style. You know those 4-5 albums in between?
Mm-hmm. Ethan Hill, excuse me.
And those albums are single heavy, Mike. All those No Limit albums are single albums. That's what I mean. That's what's wrong with them. It's like, no, there's not like there's not stuff on there, but the great stuff is a single. Still a G thing. Lay Low. Mm-hmm. The Timberland joint, Snoop Dogg. What's My Name Part 2?
Record. I didn't like that record. It was a hit, though, for the time.
It's Snoop. He freaked the beat, you know?
Yeah. Who's that dipping in the Cadillac? Ethan Hill with the super chat says, Jeff Brasinker / Mike Dean do a lot of Kanye's production. Coop, you're sleeping on West Side Connection, Slaughterhouse. That's a good response to Common.
That's after. The Common response came from what he said on West Side Connection's album.
Yeah, the West Side Slaughterhouse was hard, though.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, Bitchin' You was after that. Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop, Common was entering his prime and Cube was past his. And Cube didn't need a Tim, Kanye West, or Just Blaze. Cube wasn't producer dependent. I mean, Jay used what he had. And Jay rapped his ass off, too. We got to give it.
Cube had Dr. Dre, Bomb Squad, and then DJ Pooh. So he had great production.
Yeah, Cube could get whatever he wanted.
Yeah, Cube could get whatever he want. And listen to what I'm saying. Oh, no. You see Michael Jordan in 98, right? That's the end of Mike's prime, right? You see LeBron right now. You know this is the end of the prime, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. It's like Ice Cube ain't had no business losing that. You made no Vaseline, right?
You don't think that Ice Cube had any business losing to Common? Common's a top flight MC. It's top 15.
In 1997, Mike, do you think that Ice Cube had any business losing to Common?
Yeah, like Jay Short said, one guy's entering his prime and the other one's kind of focused on other things. So
I suggest you find your motherfucking prime.
I'm saying, man, maybe he didn't take Common as serious as he should have.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Because honestly, man, I never really felt like Cube fell off lyrically. Like when I hear him on like the Lil Jon stuff, I'm like, this nigga snapping.
Oh,
man. He's elite.
Bananas.
Yeah.
He's got bananas on the documentary 2.5, like on the game joint.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this.
He's a star at Mount Westmore last year, Mike.
He was.
He's Ice Cube.
But yeah, I wanted to make it clear, man. I ain't hating on Drake.
You sound great in 2022 on the Mount Westmore album, but Common did this to you in 1997. That's exactly why I don't want to hear this shit. Right.
Let's do this, man.
He sounded great in 2022, right, Mike? Didn't we just agree he sounded great in 2022?
He did.
But he caught that body in 97. Ain't nobody trying to hear that prime shit.
Well, people saying that Common was a better MC in 96, 97. I mean, that's not a bad statement.
Might have been a better lyricist, Mike, but what if Common as a songmaker in 1997 lets you know that Cube could have made a better diss record? Common catalog ain't like that in 97 to make you think that.
I agree.
Resurrection and One Day It'll All Make Sense and Can I Borrow a Dollar? What Ice Cube got for his first 3 albums?
Well, of course. No. I mean, that's not even comparable.
When you say Common better, it's like, I would concede.
I would concede to the fact that, Common won that, but I'm not as high on the Bitchin' You as, a lot of people are.
It's a great record, Mike.
It's okay. You ready to start talking about this list?
Yeah, we need to get some ratings.
Yeah, we need to.
Okay, first of all, I think maybe before we pull somebody out, we should put somebody in.
That's cool. I wanted to get the Common today since people saying Common's top 10.
Huh. Fuck all that putting somebody in, Mike. Let's start with Common. Let's take him down to Slick Rick. Oh, Slick Rick, by the way, is now at 16 because Slick Rick done knocked a couple niggas out.
Where's Common at?
Common's at 10.
He's at 10?
We got to pull Scarface, Kanye, and Common out. They're the only ones in the top 10 we haven't pulled out.
That's true. Okay. Do you want to start at Slick Rick or do you want to go further up? We'll start at Slick Rick. And if he doesn't beat
Rick's
Slick
at
Rick.
16.
Yeah, if he doesn't beat Slick Rick. Yeah.
Mike, to be honest with you, how about this? I feel like with Common, we should actually start with Kane at 20.
Okay. I'm with that.
Because everybody else that we started with Slick Rick was when Slick Rick was at 18 and all those other guys were in the top 10. Common wasn't in the top 10.
All right, let's start with Kane.
All right. Impact.
Kane.
Agreed. Live performance.
Kane.
Agreed. Lyrics.
Damn.
I'm still
I'm
taking
going
Kane,
Kane.
Mike.
I think I'm going Kane.
Storytelling.
Common.
Classic albums, Common.
Common, yeah.
Classic songs, Common.
Common, yep.
Longevity of albums. How much are you holding on to Long Live the Kane and Raw? It ain't no half stepping.
I'd say the songs more than the album, so I might give that one to Common.
Here's the problem with that. Common's first great album that gets notarized like that comes almost a decade into his career. That's like water for chocolate.
But it's still 20 years in the game at this point. 23 now, but...
Long Live the Kane, though, Mike. Ain't no half-steppings on Long Live the Kane.
Okay. And you know what? Long Live the Kane got nothing but singles on it for the most part. And that was during the era where people didn't make albums. It was just, making singles.
Like, how about this? What I'm noticing with Slick Rick and with Kane is that like the longevity thing is helping them, that they made a classic that holds up.
Yeah. No,
you
that
make a
helps.
classic that holds up, it matters. So somebody needs to come along and have something similar like that out the gate. That's what I'm saying. Common's first album is Can I Borrow a Dollar? How the longevity on that hold up? How the Resurrection hold up? One day it all makes sense. It don't really start holding till like Water for Chocolate. What's saved?
A lot of people feel like Resurrection's a classic. Now, I want to go through Long Live the Kane.
Made a classic on his first album, though.
Yeah, Kane got Long Live the Kane on that album. Raw remix, Set It Off, The Day You're Mine, on the Buggin' Tip, Ain't No Half Stepping, I'll Take You There. Just Rhyming's my shit. He killed that shit.
I'll Take You There.
Mr. C's Master Plan and Word to the Motherland. Okay, Kane with that one.
We can tie that actually, Mike, because you want to know what? I think more people are talking about like Water for Chocolate and be 20 years later than they were 20 years after Long Live the Kane. Is that fair?
I think so. That's fair.
So we'll tie it. And I think that's fair to both of them. Longevity of songs is Kane.
Yeah.
Kane knocked the OGs that were here first that were great early. Classic collaborations, that's Common actually.
Yep.
Career longevity quality is Common.
It's Common.
Voice.
I might go Kane on that. I think Common has a great rap voice, though.
I do. I think Common has an excellent rap voice. I'm going Kane, too. They're tied.
Common got more classics, so he moves on. Or is it the biggest classic? He has that, too, would be.
He has, yeah.
Yeah, he has the best album of the two.
All right, Jada Kiss at 19.
Jada.
Impact.
That's Cam. Not Cam. That's Common.
It is. Live performance. That's Common, too.
Mm-hmm.
Seen them both live. Lyrics. Ooh. I think that's Common.
I'm going to go Common because of the versatility. Yeah.
I think it's Common.
Because Common can give you a song for Asada. Jadakiss can't.
He can also give you The Light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Storytelling's Common, too.
Yep.
Classic album's Common, too.
How did Jadakiss beat Kane?
I don't know. It makes me want to pull Kiss out. We might have to. Might need to pull Kiss out.
Yeah.
See, we ain't got to this part of the list of pulling people out. Kiss hadn't been pulled out.
Okay.
Right. Classic songs, I think that's Kiss.
Think so?
Classic songs, yes.
Albums is
All the
another
classic
stuff.
songs he's been a part of. Common has not made as many classic songs as you think.
Okay.
Like, how about this? Where's the corner on his classic singles list? It's like there's The Light and then there's what?
I think I'm gonna go The Light, and obviously I Used to Love It is probably his most notable piece of work.
So that's my point. Longevity of albums is Common, and Common's beating. Common beat Jadakiss pretty easy. We're gonna have to pull Kiss out about that.
Yeah.
Raekwon, I like this matchup. Impact. That's Ray.
Think so.
Live performance, that's Common. Lyrics. Right.
I still think that's Common. Not by a lot.
I think lyrically speaking, it's Ray. Common has shown it more on the mic as a solo artist than Ray has.
I'm going to have to give Common the nod.
I'm going to give the nod to the soloist, the guy who has more great lyrical solo tracks. Storytelling?
That's Ray.
That's Ray.
Yeah.
Classic albums?
That's Common.
Classic songs? That's Ray.
That's Ray.
Longevity of albums? That's Ray.
You think so?
Yes, because Into the Wu-Tang comes out in 1993, and Only Cuban Links comes out in 1995.
Yeah, and at that point, Common had made his seminal works. Yeah, okay. I'm with that.
Like Resurrection's 94, which is cool. Resurrection's not the purple tape.
Nah, it's not.
But it's about the longevity. When I'm saying longevity of albums, how's the culture upholding the album?
Yeah.
Oh, the way purple tape is held up and the way Resurrection's held up? And Into the Wu... Oh, no, that ain't even the same conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Longevity of songs, that's Ray too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic collaborations, that's Ray.
Yeah, that's Ray.
He beats Common.
I was going to say, I don't know if Common going to beat Ray. Ray's a beast.
Well, he's not better than Ray. I've been saying that, but, whatever. So, we put in Common. Hold on. We got to take Common out. See, I knew that was going to happen, though. That's why I was like, no. I was like, we're going to have to pull everybody out.
Well, let's pull Jadakiss out.
Well, hold on. Common is at 18. He was at 10. You want to pull Kiss out?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we dropping Kiss to? So we take
Who's at 30?
Huh?
Who's at 30?
Redman.
I think that's a good place to start.
I'm fair. I'm cool with Kiss going against Redman. Impact.
Redman.
I think that's Red. Red got more kids. Live performance, that might be.
That's Redman.
Might be Red. Lyrics.
I think that's Redman, actually.
I think that's a tie.
Redman makes my kind of rap music, so I'm leaving on Redman.
Yeah, but nobody got 16 bars like Kiss. Like Redman's the better solo
Jada
song
ain't gave us no Muddy Waters or album where he's just spazzing, where it's just him.
But like it said, who's the best lyricist? Then who said who was the best lyricist on an album? Jadakiss is the superior lyricist, and it seems crazy to say this. He's actually one of the guys walking around with more memorable bar appearances than Redman.
Why do you feel like Jadakiss is the better lyricist between the two? Because I would gripe with that. I think when they're both on a record together, Redman's clearly the better MC.
When have you ever heard evidence of that, though? Because here's to be honest with you, this is what I'm saying. We got Jadakiss performing with everybody on all fronts. Like, he'll go up against a young Benny. He'll go up against a prime Nas. He'll rap with a prime Big. Pun. Like, you name it. Like, no, Mike, it's too much top tier work when Redman's main top tier work is just meth. Kiss is showing up on everybody's shit. He rhyme with Big, rhyme with Nas, rhyme with Ray. Like, it don't matter. He got Styles right next to him all the time challenging him. No, it's not the same.
Redman got Method Man right there next to him challenging him as well. And Redman be on Wu-Tang records. He be on Wu-Tang records.
Jadakiss on John Blaze with Nas and Ray and Pun for a reason, Mike.
I want to do a poll on this
for
one,
a reason.
You know
Mike.
what? No, hold. Let me get out my other computer, man.
The lyrics is Kiss. No, we gonna go.
I want to do a poll right here in this room.
I know that people say it's Kiss. I want to do. Redman might be a better rapper, but he's not a better lyricist than Kiss. This is about the lyrics.
I want to see what the people say on this one. Hold on. I'm going to put a poll in the chat so we can get some real numbers on this one.
People are picking Red, Mike. Hold on. Respect to Jada, but I can't put him over Mace. Leroy Green, we don't want... Leroy Green, we're rejecting your next super chat. You're going to have to super chat at least $50 to get some acknowledgement in the chat next time. Red. No, Mike, I'm going to let you have it because people are saying Red.
Yeah, I think he's a better lyricist, man.
No, Mike, I'm going to do what the people say do because it's according to hip-hop. You know, for the people, about the people, all that other bullshit. Storytelling. That's Redman for Superman level.
Yeah.
Classic albums, that's Redman too. Hold on. Jadakiss in trouble, Mike.
Yeah, he going to have to go up.
Classic songs is Jadakiss.
Okay.
Longevity of albums is Redman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, Redman beat Jada.
They only allow me to do one live poll. So, one live poll at a time. Should I do the Redman and Jada lyricist poll, or we should wait on something else?
We should wait on something more controversial.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, man. Kiss fell pretty far, Mike.
Who's next for Kiss?
No, Kiss lost to Redman.
I'm saying, who's next at 31?
Big Boy's at 31.
Okay, I like
Impact.
Impact. It's got to be Big Boy, right?
In terms of region, yes, because what the Lox did was just... How about this? Because what the Lox did, unfortunately, Mobb Deep and Wu-Tang did better.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody did what Outkast did. Live performance?
Big Boy.
I'll tell you Kiss after the verses.
Okay, that's fine. He did hold his own in the verses. I was thinking that too.
He was the clear star and best performer of the verses with a lot of vets on stage.
With a lot on the line too.
A lot of respect on the line, Mike. That was in the Garden. I didn't even understand how New Yorkers felt about that shit till I went to New York.
Right.
That's money time. That's money time to them. It's like you in the Garden, that's money time, nigga. Lyrics?
Jada.
Storytelling.
Big Boy.
I think that's Big Boy.
Yeah.
Classic albums, Big Boy.
Yeah.
Classic songs? I think that might be Kiss.
That's Kiss.
Longevity of albums is Big Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Longevity of songs is Big Boy, too.
Yeah.
2, 3. Yeah. Kiss is having it rough. Classic collaborations, that's Kiss.
That's Kiss.
Career longevity quality is Kiss, too.
That's Kiss. That's one of the biggest things that he has.
Ooh, Mike. Kiss is going to win this. He came back because he's going to win The Voice.
I think so.
His voice is one of his main attributes. So
and I like Big Boy's voice a lot, but yeah, I agree.
I love Big Boy's voice, but it's not Kiss's voice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kiss has one of the stronger voices in hip-hop.
All right. You know, and Jada could move up depending on how we do it. So, I'll tell you where we are. The only people in the top 10 now that we haven't pulled out are Scarface and Kanye.
Let's go Kanye West, man. Let's have some fun.
Where are we starting Kanye?
You want to start him at Kane? No? Or Slick Rick?
I want to start him at Wayne at 24.
You gonna go all the way up there? Sure, let's go.
Well, no, because he's
gonna come all the way down.
You're looking at it from where he is now. I'm looking at it from where he was really originally.
Okay.
And where he was really originally was kind of like 14-ish. So it's kind of like, no, let's move you 10 slots back to 24 and see how you do, because Wayne's at 24.
I think we're going to utilize the live chat.
What we're doing when we're pulling people out, it's like Slick Rick was the barometer, because Slick Rick was at 18. So everybody in the top 10 was getting pulled back to 18, as in losing about 10 to 12 slots. Kanye's was at about 12 to 14. So 24 is Wayne. So that's about 10 slots back. So I think that's fair.
Somebody said start him at Eminem, please.
Huh?
Somebody wants to start at Eminem. We'll start at Wayne. If he ends up going back.
You want to know what? You don't want to do that. How about this? You want to know what, Mike? I got a better one. 50's at 32. You want to start Kanye in 50?
He's going to come all the way down, but sure. Yeah, we can do that.
He's going to beat 50, though.
He's going to beat 50.
I know. We're starting at Wayne at 24.
Yeah, let's start. Yeah. He's going to beat him,
Wayne
too.
And we might need to pull. Wayne ain't been pulled out yet, either.
Yeah.
Impact.
Kanye.
Wayne got big off a Kanye album. You don't want to put me on to that.
He did.
Live performance?
That's Kanye.
I think that's Wayne.
Man, you know these crazy tours that Ye been doing?
You do crazy tours. Does the show be really crazy live like that?
He's a great
I'm going to be honest, I wasn't impressed with what I've seen live.
All jokes aside, he's a great performer. I mean, we've seen him.
All jokes aside, between seeing them both live, more impressed with Wayne's performance.
Really? I think the clarity of Kanye West, I mean, we've seen him on the Grammy stage. We've seen him when he was doing the College Dropout stuff. He never has a hype, man. He's always been clear. Clarity there. Iconic performances.
I watched Wayne went on a hype man for an hour and a half and get on a skateboard with skating props behind him and skate.
I mean, a lot of the times what Wayne is saying, it's not even, legible.
You talking about what he's saying. We talking about the performance.
Okay, let's do that in the poll. I want to see that. Hold on 1 second.
I'm cool with the Wheezy and Yeezy live performance poll. Yes, I am.
Okay.
I think that's a tie, actually. Cool with that.
And Kanye's a great performer. Let's see.
Overrated as a performer, Mike. It's smoke and mirrors. It's props. The performer itself, like he could never step into the arena that I saw Wayne step into and deliver that type of performance for the length of time that I saw Wayne do, in my opinion, without help. Because the only help that Wayne had the entirety of the show is when Tip came out. That was it. It was impressive. It was.
Let's see. The poll is up. And I am looking at some of the results right now.
Oh, we can keep going while the results are getting
Yeah, Ye is winning 81%.
Let's give people time to correct themselves. Lyrics, who you got?
Wayne. I'll give him that.
About time you gave him something, you player hater.
They got 32 votes, 36 votes. It's 78% Kanye.
All right, we're giving Kanye the live performance. That's fine.
40 votes, 77% Kanye.
I said that's fine, Mike. No, keep going. Lyrics is Wayne. Storytelling?
That's Kanye.
I agree. Classic albums?
Kanye.
Classic songs?
Kanye.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm completely sure.
No, I think you're thinking in the old world. You know Wayne kept on making hits when Kanye stopped, right? When the last Kanye hit, Mike?
You said classic songs, right?
Yeah, what's the last Kanye classic song?
Last Kanye classic song, Praise God, 2022.
So I'm going to ask you, and this time you're going to give me a classic song, not a song that you love.
Great record.
It's not a classic. Last classic Kanye song again, please.
Last classic Kanye West song.
Not a Watch the Throne song.
No. I wasn't going to go Watch the Throne. I was actually going to go Father Stretch My Hand.
What year is that?
That was like 2016-ish or something. Yeah.
See how you don't know the year? That's not.
No, it was like 2016.
It's not a classic, Mike.
What's Wayne's last classic song? $36 Chambers with the super chat says, "Chat is bugging. Kanye has buzz, but he has openly quit shows. Wayne is better live performer. Kanye generates hype, but it's no substance. Crazy.
I'm about to pull my card on you. Wayne was part of classic songs before Kanye was even a thought and has made classic songs after and is still taking part in classic guest appearances. That's Wayne. You're thinking about peak. At their peak, they did the same amount of work, and Wayne was here before and has been here after as a hit maker. It's Wayne.
Classic song. So you think that Wayne would beat Kanye West in a versus? Because I don't.
Yeah, I think he. See, here's the thing about it. I don't think that you necessarily win a versus with all classic records. Because listen to what I'm saying. If that was the case, Nas is the best holder of hip hop's best catalog. He should be able to beat anybody. That's not how versus plays. It's not about the classic material. It's about how it plays.
I think Nas could beat just about anybody.
No, I do too, Mike. But some people would pose a problem because of the style of classic music that they make, like a Snoop.
Yeah, I agree.
Snoop would pose Nas a problem because of the style of music that he makes this classic. What I'm trying to tell you is that Kanye and Wayne, oh no, similar classic style of music. One guy was here first, and one guy has stayed around longer to make the quality material.
I think that, to be perfectly honest, Kanye's songs have just held up better than Wayne's.
No, that I will give you, but does he have more of what's held up better? Because in that case, he doesn't, in my opinion.
So I guess that would be more longevity of songs, you would say?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you that might be. How about this, Mike? Let's do this right quick. What's Kanye's 5 biggest records and what's Weezy's 5 biggest records? And we'll kind of leave it right there and see what we can do.
Biggest?
Yeah, the biggest hit record.
He has so many records. I'm just gonna have to.
So does Lil Wayne, Mike.
No, I'm just gonna have to look that up. They both do. Let me see.
Look at both of them right quick.
All right, Kanye's biggest songs. Yeah. That's interesting. Let's see. All right, based on Billboard. Is that what we're going on? Okay. So Gold Diggers spent 10 weeks at number 1. Niggas in Paris spent is this really in order? Yeah, okay. You got Stronger as the number 1 record. Jesus Walks. Okay, he has 4 number 1s. What are those 4 number 1s? Gold Digger's one of them. Stronger is one of them. Slow Jams. It's actually a number 1 record. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Me either. Other one is a feature. It's that Katy Perry song, so that don't really count. Jesus Walks here. Shit, All Falls Down was number 7. Can't Tell Me Nothing here. Yeah, he got a lot of records, man. Stronger's a number 1 record too. So I mean, I don't know.
Lil Wayne has released 285 singles, Mike.
How many does he have that have charted though?
I think they're talking about the stuff that's charted, Mike.
Okay.
Now, here's what I'll tell you. You want to know what? You might have a point, because here's what they're saying. Go DJ is Wayne's first top 20 hit.
Yeah, and that's well into his career.
I'll give you Ye on that because of that, because that's too long. Ye came in with Jesus Walks and All Falls Down.
And Go DJ is after those songs.
It is. No. That's why I'm giving that to Kanye. That's part of why we're starting Kanye.
But I'm glad we're doing this research on Kanye early, because it's going to help him out. Moving
longevity
forward.
Of albums.
Kanye.
Yeah.
College Dropouts before.
Look, Wayne is at 24 because this rapping ass producer just beat him pretty handily.
Yeah.
This catalog, even though Kanye's not regular. Now, Wayne is at 24. We might have to put Wayne back up, too, because I don't know how he lost to Busta. Now, next we have Busta, Prodigy, Drake, and DMX. You want to do any of those for Wayne? I mean, for Kanye?
Let's do DMX.
Yeah, DMX is at 20.
Yeah.
Impact.
That's Kanye, unfortunately. I mean, I won't say unfortunately, but, I don't want to disregard X's impact because it was huge. But that's Kanye.
I hope you don't, Mike, but I hate to be the one to break it to you. Kanye's changing the game was a process. DMX is changing the game. Happened with a couple of records and one album. I'm gonna take DMX.
But Kanye changed the game like 3 different times. I mean, and we're even seeing the impact still from Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? And not even his initial change. Even when he came through.
No, love the argument. He did change the game multiple times. Love the argument. X did it one time. Kanye. Live performance. That's X.
Okay.
And so is lyrics. And storytelling.
Okay.
Classic albums.
Kanye.
Classic songs.
Kanye.
Longevity is X. Because it's dark and hell is hot.
Longevity of what?
Albums.
Okay.
Yeah. It's dark and hell is hot is literally years before the college dropout.
Yeah.
Literally years. Longevity of songs.
That's Kanye.
That is Kanye. Classic collaborations.
That's Kanye.
I think that's DMX because DMX's name got made on his collaborations, not Kanye.
Kanye got hella collab. He got too many. It's just X's
how
don't
quality
have
are
enough.
they?
Did
they make the name for him that X made for him?
Come on, man. Now, all right. I want to put this in the poll too. Hold on. Let's see.
Hold on. What's Kanye's 5 best collaborations, Mike? Not on his shit. What are his collaborations? Because we talk collaboration. It's not on your shit.
It's
what
so
memorable
many,
collaboration
man.
Ye got that's not on his shit?
Hold on.
All of Ye's memorable collaborations are the people coming to collaborate with Ye. That's why it's X. X is on Money, Power, Respect. That's the Locks album. X is on 4321. That's LL Cool J's album, Mike.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Keep going.
No. I mean, like, show me the Kanye records. Like, I just gave you 2. Give me 2 Kanye records at that level. Give me Money, Power, Respect, and 4321 from Kanye. Has a guest appearance rapper. Because Run This Town ain't it, my nigga.
You don't think Run This Town is it?
Not against 4321 and Money, Power, Respect. It's not. You need the streets to tell you.
But I'm saying he has so many. All right, you know what? Look,
name them.
Let's look at his features, right?
He got so many great guest appearances, Mike. Name them.
I'm about to. You remember him being on #1 Pharrell's record? You remember him being on Estelle's?
I said great, so I'm still waiting.
No. I'm continuing. Estelle's American Boy. This is a lot more versatile than what.
I like the American Boy verse. That's not enough for him.
Okay, what about him on Swagger Like Us? He's on there too. Since you mentioned 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like Us. He did the beat the Swagger Like Us, Mike.
He's also on Lloyd Banks' Start It Up. You remember that?
No, I don't, Mike.
He's also on Clips, kind of like a big deal.
That's not enough, Mike.
What about the Slum Village record? Selfish. He's on there too. That's
not enough for X, Mike.
I'm not done. He's on Rick Ross Sacrifice. He's on he's on hella remixes. I was gonna say the Drunken Love remix. He's actually on Forever as well. Dilated Pupils, excuse me. I Can't Live My Life This Way. He's on there. Very memorable verse on there. Production as well. Maybach Music Part 2. He's on there. Rihanna's Shine Bright Like a Diamond's remix. 2 Chainz birthday song. It's just way too much. Go Hard with DJ Khaled.
Mike.
He's on. What's that?
You are doing terrible, Mike. You sound terrible. I'm actually about to name some classic guest appearances. You're talking about good records. I'm about to name some classic records.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Go ahead.
4321, Mike.
And I was going to say Put On with Jeezy, too. But.
Oh, no. Put On counts. Put On is about the best record you name, Mike. You understand that, right?
Think so?
Yes. Either that or Selfish from Slum Village. Put On and Selfish were the only classics I heard you name. You didn't even name.
You didn't like the Dilated Pupils record?
Huh?
You didn't even like the Dilated Pupils record?
I said classic. I'm going to say that again. Maybe on classic. Not good. Okay. Classic. Let's go to classic, Mike. 4321. That's a classic. Are we clear?
Yeah.
DMX on there, right?
Yeah.
So that's 1. Money, Power, Respect, Mike. That a classic?
I think so.
That's 2, Mike. Mike, Shut 'Em Down with Onyx.
I wouldn't say that's classic. Yeah.
It's better than that Ye shit.
It's a big drop off right
there. Mike, It's on the DJ Clue, the Professional Part 1.
Is that considered a feature? That's a song by himself.
Whose album is it on, Mike?
So if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna do Theraflu by Kanye West that's on DJ Khaled shit.
That's fine. That's not better than
Theraflu's better than if it's on its own.
The Rough Riders Anthem remix isn't though, Mike, because that's on the Professional too. That's DMX's feature too.
Oh, that's counting as a DMX feature as well. That's his song.
Hold on, Mike. Mike, let's take that off. Mike, can I interest you in Money Cash Hoes, Mike?
Yeah, that's a big one. You should have said that earlier.
So hold on. So let's be clear. I got Money, Power, Respect, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Money Cash Hoes.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to keep going?
Sure.
Come Back in One Piece with Aaliyah. I got 4 now.
I wouldn't say that's a classic.
Yes, it is, Mike.
Let me ask the people real quick.
You can ask the people, Mike.
What's the question specifically? I don't want to word it wrong.
Guest appearance, classic guest appearance.
All right, more classic guest appearances.
Can I interest you in Sincerity with Mary J. Blige, Mike?
Nah, I'm cool on that.
You're tripping, Mike.
I'm just saying, like the ones that I'm naming are way more notable.
No, they're not, Mike. 24 Hours to Live, Mike.
That's a good one.
So how about this, Mike? Name the three guest appearances that you have, like 24 Hours to Live, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Money, Power, Respect. Name the 3 that you have, because I don't hear them.
Hold on.
Name the 3. 4, 3, 2, 1, Money, Power, Respect, 24 Hours to Live. That's with other all-time great motherfuckers on there spitting too, Mike. You losing this. Because X shows up and Money Cash Hoes, Mike. X shows up when it's time to perform against primetime players. Slum Village is not about to cut it in this conversation.
Well, what about Classic? Because he was on the feature
Mike,
of
4, 3, 2, 1, Money, Power, Respect.
You talk about no. You talk about primetime players.
Records.
Cool. You talking about primetime players. I'm talking about the song Classic where he's on with
the worst verse on the
KRS-One.
fucking song.
With KRS-One,
got the worst
Nas,
verse.
and Rakim.
And he's got the worst verse.
Does he? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he got outperformed by all 3 of them because both of them,
Well,
all 3 of them are like.
they're all top 5 MCs. Like.
Correct.
So
and he's not.
What's the tougher roster? Where do you think DMX versus is on 4, 3, 2, 1? If we want to talk about having the worst verse on the song, once you take Master P off, I think he's.
You can quote my guy Michael Hubbard. When I heard that verse, everybody was like, "Oh, Cannabis killed that shit." I was like, "Yeah, Cannabis killed it," but the other guy rapping's a star, and it's about to sell records.
But you're talking about having the worst verse on the record. I think that
classic guest appearance, Mike. It's a classic guest appearance because that helped create the buzz that help him take over the game. Same thing with Money, Power, Respect. He took over the game with these verses.
Did he have the weakest verse on the record?
Mike, I'm asking. No, it says classic guest verse. It says classic guest appearance. Classic
we'll give it to X.
Mike.
The people say X.
Mike, is 4, 3, 2, 1 a classic?
It is.
Is DMX on it?
He is.
Money, Power,
but
Respect.
it's funny how you omit that. It's funny how you omitted. You changed it. But you didn't want to consider that when I mentioned classic. You said he had the worst verse on there, but when it comes to X on 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like, oh, well, that's different.
Do you want to know the truth? I don't think the classic record is a classic rap song. I don't care who's on it. It's not like that. I don't care if Premier did the beat. I don't care if Nas and Rakim and KRS-One are rapping on it. I don't care if Jesus come down and sanctify it. It's not a classic song.
Why not? You didn't like the record? I think classic's great.
It's not like that, Mike. It doesn't make you feel like that, Mike. How about this, Mike? If 4, 3, 2, 1, if 4, 3, 2, 1 comes on or classic comes on, what you playing? Because I'm playing.
No, I like 4, 3, 2, 1 better.
Mike, if Money, Power, Respect comes on and classic comes on, what you playing?
Now I might play classic.
You might be tripping. Mike, Money, Cash, Hoes.
I might go classic. Money, Cash, Hoes didn't age that well.
Mike, these are classic.
When we talk about Volume 2, and we've been talking about Volume 2.
Though, Mike, 24 Hours to Live, Mike. These are classic guest appearances. Mike, I got another one for you.
Songs are
Remember,
okay.
Hold on, Mike. I'm about to hit you in the gut, Mike. Remember the DMX joint on the JD album, Get Your Shit Right? You know the best song on 1472?
You think so?
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, it might be. It's up there. Go listen.
This is a DMX feature that you missed that I really liked at the time. That J.O. Felony with Method Man. That shit was hard.
We not finished, Mike. No. I'm giving you the bangers. Remember Top Shotta with DMX on the Belly soundtrack?
Yeah.
Sean Paul?
Okay.
Right.
We'll give it
Remember
that.
Pull It? Mike, remember Pull It with Cameron? How about Dog and the Fox with Foxy Brown? How about Life Is What You Make It with Nas?
Okay.
Like, you want me to keep going, Mike? You want to go some X shit on the Rough Riders compilation?
I
You
love
feel
that
me?
record. I don't know if that
That's what I'm
counts,
saying,
but
Mike. You want to go It's Murder on the Ja Rule album? Kanye don't got better guest appearances than X. What is you talking, fam? What about Dog Match with Eve?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
What
I was
about
also
Scenario
gonna say
2000, Mike?
Scenario 2000. He did his thing on there.
What about
The
Niggas
Rough
Die
Riders
For Me?
record, Ride or Die.
Right.
Yeah, Ride or
Like, what
Die.
are you
And the
talking
other one
about?
I was
Hold on,
thinking,
Mike. What about with Jada Kiss, where they going at Beans and Jay?
I like that too. What I was gonna say though, I was gonna say the Murder Inc. record or whatever, Murdergram.
That's the Murder Inc. record. It's Murder.
Yeah.
I already named that. That's what I'm saying. X
Yeah.
got too much heat for Ye on the guest appearance. Stop that.
Okay, all right, we got X on that.
Yeah, that's X. Like Mike, that was X easy. I don't believe we had this fight. Career longevity quality. That's Kanye.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, it's coming down the voice. Goodbye, Kanye.
So which one's the X win again?
X1 live performance, lyrics, storytelling, longevity of albums, classic collaborations, and voice. Yes.
Say that
Yes.
again. Ho.
Live performance.
Okay.
You don't disagree with that, do you?
No, I don't.
You better not disagree with lyrics or storytelling, Mike.
Storytelling.
ATF, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Stop playing. Crime Story, Mike. Stop playing.
Yeah, X is special.
X is special, Mike.
I think lyrics, though, I don't know, man. I don't know.
How about this, Mike?
I
Here's
don't
what I
know.
tell you.
Because lyrically,
Here's what I
I
tell you.
would
Here's
say
what I
that
tell
I
you,
think
Mike.
Ye might be stronger lyrically.
Who?
I think Ye might be stronger lyrically.
No, Mike. I think you're thinking about it in that punchline, witty type of way, and not in that, I don't know, one guy made slipping and get at me, dog, and what's going and how's it going down, and stop being greedy, and Damien. No.
Yeah, and one guy lyrically was able to
One
make...
guy lyrically always needs guest appearances. Mike, do you want me to run down all the classic records?
No.
Mike, if Kanye were to do a verses, you do understand that he would have to use guest appearances for about 12 to 15 of the songs.
No.
The songs he has by himself is not Mike. It's not like that. There's Through the Wire. There's Jesus Walks. All Falls Down. Gold Digger. And What They Say. And Stronger.
Diamonds.
Can't tell me nothing. That's seven.
Diamonds
That's not enough
well.
for X. X got that on the first album, Mike. That's what I'm saying.
Did you mention All Falls Down, right?
I did. I mentioned all the solo shit that's great because all the other shit is collaborative. Power would make it. That would be 8.
Yeah, he has a lot of records, man.
He's got most of his best shit is collaborative though, Mike.
I mean, his biggest album, the one that did $1 million in a week, ain't got nobody on it but him.
No, Wayne's on there.
I mean, yeah, his like one feature on there.
You just said nobody was on there. Either somebody on there or
one
not.
feature. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
Either somebody on there or they not, Mike, though. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
one feature. That's not collaborative heavy.
Okay,
we got
but Mike,
one
you
verse.
want to know what you want to know what led to that moment? Was 2 classic albums that were littered with guest appearances before it for him to have that moment. That's a fact. There's Common, there's Paul Wall, there's Game, there's Jay, there's Nas, there's Luda, there's Common, there's Talib, there's Mos, there's Freeway, there's Rhyme Fest, there's Consequence, there's Twista, there's Jamie Foxx. Mike, it's a lot of help. DMX had like Rough Riders.
And DMX had like one great album.
2, Mike. You just don't like Swiss production.
Let me get to these super chats real quick.
Slippin' is on the album that Swiss did the production on. You know,
as you said about Snoop, it's not enough. Esquire with the super chat.
It's plenty. He's a better lyricist than Kanye.
Esquire says Wayne is more impactful as an MC. It's fair, I guess.
Mike, how about
both
this?
of them
If
are
you
very
wanted to tie Kanye on the lyrics, what you have is a tie, and he's still stuck where X is stuck. That's the best case scenario, and he's not better. Even if you were to give it to him, he's still tied.
Right in there. Jay Short with the super chat says Wayne on the Hook of Bling Bling is one of the biggest hip hop songs ever. He also coined and was the voice that brought Drop It Like It's Hot to me. Yeah.
I was splitting hairs. I didn't even want to bring that up, Mike. Kanye's at 21 where he belongs, Mike. I hate to be the one to break it to you. Hold on. No. Sorry, he's at 20 where he belongs.
Jay Short with the super chat says, Mike, when X came on, we didn't care who was on the song. He made Cannabis, The Lox, Redman, LL, Method
Took
Man,
over
and Kiss
everything.
an afterthought on these songs.
No, you want to know what's crazy? Is that Mike B has pulled up on this show and talked about how one of the most versatile things he's ever seen in rap is how from DMX flip from Get At Me Dog and the dual voice action of Stop Being Greedy to How's It Going Down, and talk about one of those things submitting X as an MC. And Kanye has none of that on any of his albums for 3 solo appearances, but Mike is sitting up here trying to argue for Kanye as a lyricist over X. When he is yet to prove that he can do that for 3 songs by himself on one album, which X did out the gate, with more stuff like Damien, which is another solo song on there. Oh, I don't know, Rough Riders Anthem, which is another solo song on there. ATF, Crime Story, and you talking about Kanye might be a better lyricist.
36 Chambers.
Is real.
36 Chambers says Kanye ain't lyrically better than my cousin. Stop. Okay.
Thank you.
How about this, man? X moves on. Kanye stops there. Let's see how far X goes down.
No. X going up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How far X goes up, rather.
Oh, I mean, what? Okay, so only people to pull out now, the top 10 is Scarface. You want to pull Face out?
Yeah, I didn't realize we were like, it's almost 9 o'clock. Yeah, let's pull Face out. I know.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I want to pull Face out and try to put somebody in and try to get the 45 at least. We're going to try to finish this list today. This is what happens with us. We always end up talking shit and it don't never.
Yeah, we got to just start Friday with all of this.
Right. So where are we putting Scarface? Because Scarface has pretty much been at 10 since the start. Kanye's at 20. DMX is at 19.
We'll start at Kanye.
I feel that way. That's cool.
Okay.
Even though I don't like that for Face. Impact.
Yay.
Live performance.
I think that's yay too.
Me too. Lyrics.
That's Scarface.
Okay, thanks, Mike. All right, just got to check after the DMX thing. Mike. Storytelling, I wish you would, Mike.
Definitely Scarface.
Oh, Mike, hey, hate to be the one to break it to all these fans. Classic album. Guess what? Time. Right.
Don't know. I don't know. Because we talking college dropout, late registration, graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then you got the 808s and Heartbreaks and Yeezy.
808s and Heartbreaks not a classic. Stop that.
It is, man. Whether you like that album or not,
it's
a classic.
Just because people, no,
it's
that's not
a classic.
No, I'm gonna tell you what's classic. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, classic.
According to Coop,
classic. Late registration, classic. If you want to say Graduation's a classic, okay with that. You're not about to do that 808s and Heartbreaks shit on according to hip hop.
I'm gonna ask. Let's ask the people.
Let's ask the people. Because Scarface made The Fix, made The Diary. He made Ghetto Boy's first album. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Scarface is back. Emeritus. Deeply Rooted. Made. Untouchable. Give me Face Mob. I'm giving you the tie to be nice to that ass.
All right, I just asked the people, is 808s and Heartbreaks a classic album? Jay Short with the super chat says, Mike, Kanye got 4 classic albums and provided B and Daytona. Coop, it's not enough. LP with the super chat says, Mike questions what Dre produced or not, but not what Kanye wrote. Huh?
You never question Kanye. like John Bryan helping him executive produce Late Registration. You don't never bring that up.
I don't think that's an issue.
Oh, that's funny. The whole sound changed on Late Registration. You don't think it's an issue?
No, I think what happened with that, I feel like the game.
Why the whole sound change if he ain't getting no help?
I mean, he talked about getting help from John Bryan. I mean, it was no secret. You know what I mean?
But when Dre get help, it's a problem.
Because Dre always has help. We've seen Kanye never get help. So Dre has help every step of the way, and that's cool. But I think the difference is we don't know what Dre sounds like alone, and we know what Kanye sounds like alone. I think whenever he gets help, it's an additive with it. But he's talking about
I mean,
the
Mike, this is what
writing.
I'm saying. We only know what Kanye sounds like alone for one album. When you saying that, fam, you need to stop saying that. We only know what he sounds like alone for one album. You talking like we got this career of this man working alone.
But
Only
he's
time
worked.
Mike, the only project he put together alone was his first album. John Bryan is Late Registration. That's album 2. He had help from somebody else from there on out. You know that, right?
So you think as a producer he had help putting together B, and he had help when he made the stuff for the Blueprint? Because Dre always has help.
Yes, I do, because let me see. On the Blueprint, I believe Bink and Just Blaze has production credits.
But I'm saying the individual songs
that he made. I believe Jay Dilla has production credits.
So on the individual songs that he made. But on the individual songs that he made. You know what I'm saying? But the songs that he made, we know what Kanye West sounds like by himself. Everything with Dre's name on it has somebody else's name next to it as well. He says Kanye wrote or not. He said, but doesn't question if Kanye wrote or not. He has many people saying that they wrote for him to compare him to X. Has too many people say he wrote for him to compare to X. Yeah, that's fair. Jay Short with the super chat says Kanye got more whack to mid songs on 808s and Heartbreaks than Face has in his entire career. No
really
cap.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, so classic albums were given time.
Okay. Classic songs, Kanye.
Uh-huh.
Longevity of albums, Scarface.
Okay.
Longevity of songs, Scarface. I don't think I need to bring up My Mind Playing Tricks on You and how it's still a top 10 rap song literally like 35 years after it was created.
Mm-hmm.
Classic collaborations.
That's Kanye.
That might be Face 2, Mike.
Think so.
Cool G Rap, Ice Cube, Nas, Jay.
He does have a lot. Yeah.
Kanye.
Yeah. Face is a great collab.
Like you name it, Mike. It's Face. Yeah. It's Face, actually.
Okay.
We're not going to get into career longevity, quality, or voice, Mike. We're just going to say that Kanye lost this to Scarface.
Okay.
Mike, to make you feel good, even if you give Kanye classic albums, guess what still happens?
Yeah, Face still wins. I think Kanye gets that, but hey, who am I?
Even if you want to give it to him, he still wins. That's all that really matters.
Well, that's fair.
DMX, ooh, I love this. DMX and Scarface.
Okay.
Impact. I'll tell you Scarface, because Scarface is one of the reasons that DMX believe he can do this shit.
I agree. That's Scarface.
Live performance is X.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrics is Face to me, but what do you say?
I say that's Face.
Storytelling, Face.
Mm-hmm.
Classic albums is Face.
Yep.
Classic songs?
Shit. That might be X.
I was thinking that's X.
Yeah.
Longevity of albums and songs is Face.
Mm-hmm.
He's done with X.
Yeah.
Catalog's stupid, Mike.
Yeah, it is. And it means a lot.
It does mean a lot. Kane. Keep in mind, we haven't moved Common back out yet and put him up against Kane. Common's ahead of Kane. Mm-hmm. And we only going to move Common out if he beats Face. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody can't supplant him, we should probably check him and see and make sure.
Yeah.
Impact.
Kane.
Yeah. Live performance is Kane, too.
Mm-hmm.
So is lyrics.
Yep.
Storytelling's Face. Classic albums is Face.
Yep.
Classic songs.
I think that may be Face.
I was thinking that too, but barely.
Yeah, it's not by a whole lot, but I think that's Face.
It's not by a lot.
And that's attributed to, Kane's bangers when he was, cranking them out.
Longevity of albums, I think that's Scarface.
Over Kane's, album came first.
It did, but how about, this is what I'm saying. Okay, so let's look at Long Live the Kane, which is 88, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped, which is 89. And let's look at Mr. Scarface's Back, which is 1991. And let's look at The Diary, 1994. Now, of those albums that I named, which albums are holding up the best? In terms of how the public reveres them. Because I tell you, even though The Diary is 6 years after, in 2023, The Diary is more revered as a classic than Long Live the Kane.
I don't
Outside
know.
of New York.
I don't know.
All right, we'll give it to Kane. No, I'm cool with it. I'm just checking the temperature because Face has been around almost as long as Kane.
Yeah, he has.
I understand that. Like Kane isn't like a generation removed from Scarface. He's like a year or two removed from Scarface.
No, you're right. It's crazy how quickly those years changed back then. Like 1 year
it was
feels
year
like
to year on some
5 years, right?
Longevity of songs. I'll tell you that's Kane.
Yeah.
Classic collaborations is Scarface.
Yep.
Career longevity quality is Scarface.
Yep.
It's tied, Mike. It's the voice.
I think that's Scarface.
I do too, and that's crazy because that's one of the few voices I may pick over Kane.
Yeah.
But out of respect for Kane and how great his voice is, I want the people to help. So some people got Scarface as a better lyricist than Kane. I personally feel like he's a better lyricist than Kane, but that's about the duration of the lyricism.
Right. That gets into a whole lyricism conversation. Who would be next for Scarface?
Right, because I think we're going to move Face on.
Yeah.
Because if it was a tie, it would come down to the classic album conversation. That's Face. Even if it was coming down to classic songs, Face got more classic songs at this point.
Right.
Common at 17.
Okay.
Impact. That's Scarface.
Yep.
Live performance. Common.
Yep.
Ooh, Mike, lyrics.
That's Common.
That's Scarface to me.
You think so?
I'll take the tie. But you can't get me to believe the guy that made Never Seen a Man Die.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that tie because what they do lyrically is at opposite ends of the spectrum, but similar results.
With Common, I'm thinking about freestyle ability, you know.
No. Go listen to the last track on the diary. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, no. Scarface bust your ass on some lyrical shit. Keep in mind, like he's rapping next to Jay and Beans with no problem, Mike.
No, you're right.
He's going back and forth with Nas in 98 with no problem. You understand? He's on the same album that Nas is like is on.
Yeah, no problem.
Not a problem.
Okay. All right, we'll go Face.
He's prime. Like, think about this. Prime J and Prime Nas both called on Face, and nobody said anything about Face not being worthy of being on the records.
No, for real.
Ever. Mike, ever. Like, not once did a nigga ever say something.
All right, he got that.
Storytelling's Face.
Mm-hmm.
Classic albums is Face.
Yep.
Classic songs might be Face, because mine playing tricks on me. Yeah, we got to pull Common out, Mike. You think that might be a tie because you think the light?
Yeah, I think Common got a lot of like singles, but yeah, that could be a tie.
Yeah, I think longevity of albums is Face.
Okay.
That Mind Playing Tricks on You, longevity of songs.
Mm-hmm.
And that 1 minute, a minute to pray, a second to die. Never Seen a Man Die.
Yeah.
Smile. Hand of the Dead Body. Let Me Roll.
Got a catalog.
You got a catalog. Classic collaborations.
I think that's Face.
It was over before collaborations anyway. We're going to have to pull Common out because Common got waxed too easy by Face. Common's the guy we need to pull out.
We got
Raekwon.
Okay. We got a $20 super chat from Celeste here. It says, to be fair, Mike, if you check the credits, Mike Dean has assisted Ye with production and in some form or capacity on all his projects. You also have John Bryan and Bon Iver, Blasker, and No ID, etc. are also often credited on multiple albums as well. And give credit to them.
Almost Famous is Havoc's drums.
Hey, look, credit where credit's due. I know it's almost 9 o'clock, Coop. Do you want to pick up here on Friday? We could start here. I don't think it's any new music.
I really want to do Ray and Scarface right quick.
Scarface is going to beat Ray, man. He got too much solo stuff. Like,
you want to know what? Okay, well, Mike, if you feel that way, let's jump him over Ray and Ghost and let's see how he does against Slick Rick, and then let's go.
Okay.
Now, here's what's crazy. You know, Slick Rick was at 18 when we made him the barometer. You know where he is right now, right?
He's like 14 now?
14 now.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right, let's do Scarface and Slick Rick, and then we'll go.
Okay.
We didn't get any new people on the list.
Nah, we got to get that Friday.
Impact.
Shit. That's Slick Rick.
It is. So is the live performance.
Yep.
Lyrics, I would tell you, is Face.
Yep.
Listen to what I'm about to tell you.
Storytelling.
And I thought about this, Mike. There are only 3 guys that deserve to be ahead of Slick Rick in storytelling.
Oh, he's one of them.
And that's Nas, Ghostface, and Scarface.
Yeah.
Because Big still don't have enough stories.
Mm-mm.
Those 3.
Big had the ability, but not the evidence.
Yep. Classic albums, that's Face.
That's Face.
Classic songs is Slick Rick.
Yep.
Longevity of albums is Slick Rick.
Okay.
So is longevity of songs. Classic collaborations, that's Face.
Face, yep.
Career longevity quality, that's Face.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tie down to the voice, Mike.
I got to be honest here.
I think that might be Slick.
I think so, too. If we're going to go by voice, yeah.
We're
and
going
I
by
love
voice, because hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, yeah, Mike, it's voice. I'm with you, though. I love Scarface's voice.
But it ain't Slick Rick's voice.
But it ain't Slick Rick's voice. No. It's not.
Not many people are. Yeah, to me, he's a top 5 voice. Jay Short with the super chat says Scarface is a better lyricist than Common. Face can do everything Common can do. Common can't make no Diary of a Madman or Let Me Roll. Facts.
He can't. But that's why he lost. So here's what I'll tell you. If you want, Mike, just real quick, I know we said we're about to go Scarface and Ghostface right quick, just because Scarface lost to Slick Rick by 1. Impact.
Scarface.
Live performance.
I think that's Scarface.
Me too. Lyrics.
Ghost.
I'm with you. Mike, here's the problem. Storytelling.
I'm going Scarface.
That's Face.
I'm going Scarface.
Okay. Classic albums.
That's Scarface because of how many.
Here's what I'll tell you, Mike. Because Ghostface is part of the Purple Tape.
And the Wu-Tang.
And the Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
I'll tell you it's a tie because where he only has 2 certified classics, well, Ghost got 2 possibles.
Yeah.
And he's got Wu-Tang Forever, Enter the Wu-Tang, and Only Built for Cuban Links. And so about his contributions, I'll tell you the Classic Eye Conversation is a tie. But only because of the Wu-Tang shit comes into play. If this was solo for solo, actually, that still might be Face. Because he has We Can't Be Stopped by the Ghetto Boys. That's Face. He got his Ghetto Boy shit. That's where the Ghetto Boy shit is saving Face too. Yeah. Classic songs, that actually might be Ghost.
That's Ghost.
Longevity of albums is Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
Songs is Scarface. Collaborations. Ghost
that's Scarface, I think.
Ghost is in Wu-Tang Clan.
He is in Wu-Tang. Yeah, that's Ghost.
Longevity quality is Scarface of the career. Career longevity quality is Scarface.
Yep.
Right? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and that's where he wins. Okay, so no, he's right where he needs to be.
Andre Shashir with the super chat says Conway drops Won't He Do It on Friday? Sure does. My mere thoughts with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, great show, fellas. Mike represent on Monday.
Okay, so check this out. You want to hear our top 10 now?
Yeah, go for it.
Nas, Jay-Z, Ice Cube, Tupac, Rakim. That's a top 5. Okay. I love that top 5.
Yeah, that's a great top 5.
The next 5 is Biggie, Snoop, Chuck D, KRS-One, and LL Cool J. What did I tell you? All those dudes are going to rise up.
I like it.
Now, here's where we need to pause, Mike. The next 2 guys we haven't pulled out, and it's time to pull them out. Method Man and Black Thought are at 11 and 12.
Yeah.
And it's time to pull them out. Because Slick Rick, Scarface, Ghostface, Raekwon, Common, Kane, and DMX are right behind them. Kanye rounds out the top 20.
I like it.
I like it too. I'm going to tell you exactly what's about to happen. I think Method Man and Black Thought about to end up at 19 and 20.
Well, we're going to see. We'll start on this on Friday, and then we'll talk Conway and all of that, and let's go from there.
Yeah.
All right, great show. We'll see y'all Friday.
See y'all Friday.